Welcome to GoGi's After Dinner Jam. So glad that you chose to be here tonight. As usual, I consider it like a bunch of different ice cream flavors, and you chose this one, and I choose you back. So glad you could make it. We have so many different conference calls in this little free conference call TI Community, and GoGi's After Dinner Jam is but one of them. So I thank you for being here. Oh boy, it's been a busy time already. We are just less than 30 days into the new year, less than 30 days into the new administration, and look at all the changes. People have been asking, is it going to have a positive impact on the TI community? And that is the question. That's the question of the hour. Is it going to have a positive impact on us? Will we be free? Wow. Yeah, that is a deep question to be on our hearts and minds, and it's certainly right in the forefront of mine. So, yeah, folks have keep asking me that, and I think we're going to be free for real. That is my thought, my belief. And people ask, do I still think Trump will be, ready for this? Will he really come through for TIs? My answer is, as my friend loves to say, abso-darn-lutely. Affirmative, a big yes, a positive yes, a Y-E-Z-Z, a exclamation mark. I believe that he's going to be instrumental. I believe that God chooses our kings, like them or not, for reasons unbeknownst to men. God chooses the one, and that one he chose to lead us into this victory. It is said that he'll use a donkey, yes, an ASS, to lead us if no man would step up. He'll even use an inanimate objects like rocks to cry out and praise him if no man does. So God is purpose-driven, and just like the deep state has a plan, so does he. So which plan do you believe will prevail? And if you can't answer that, then please spend some time meditating, thinking, and deciding, because these last days, that will be the ultimate decision. Colors will fade. Colors are fading now to black and white. No more gray. It's either good or bad, good or evil, God or Satan. And yes, everyone gets to decide for themselves. So that was free, and it was with Almighty, because I didn't plan to say that tonight, but it came on me earlier today. So I hope you heard, as they say in New York. You heard? I hope you heard. But my message tonight really has to do with the program. And so as we think about the answer to that question, the question that's on the heart of many TIs, and it is no joke what is happening with us. It is no joke that our constitutional, human, and godly rights have been stripped from us, that we have no privacy, that the things that we do are interrupted and interfered with, so that we're at points beyond stress sometimes. It is no joke when every part of our waking life is interfered with by this evil, including the so many things. I'm not going to say any, because I would like you all to share that with me tonight. So when we look at the question and we take a deep look at the components of the program, what do you mean when you ask, will we be free? Like, what part of the program are you speaking about? Because that determines the answer. And I would like to speak to what you say are the components of the program that you would that you mean when you say, will this stop? Will this end? And I'm going to start. That's going to be the question we open up with. And I'm going to start. My answer is, in the words of Betty Doo, the part where when I leave the house, a hurricane evacuation. It's like a hurricane evacuation, vehicular, gang stalking, I call it. A whole host of people following behind you or meeting you where you go, or or following. Sometimes they come instead of following you, because a lot of states have laws against following. They'll come head on. They'll come across from you with bright lights, or just come on the other side facing you. So that's number one. What's your number 1 or 2 or 3? What part of the program, when you say, will this end, are you referring to? We're going to open up with that question. We have a jam-packed night. Welcome in, everybody. Come on in, cozy on in. We have a lot to do. We got work to do, and it's a good time for us to do work, because the stage is set. The stage is set. All right, so let's go. All right. If you would like to introduce yourself, make sure your background noise is down. And if you're not talking and it's noisy, please mute yourself so that we don't have to mute you. One person needs to mute. Please. All right. Please announce yourself, city and state you're from, and what part of the program do you refer to when you say, when will this end? Okay. Can we find that noise, please? Thank you. All right. Welcome in, everybody. Anyone want to announce themselves?
Hey, GoGi, can you hear me?
I can. Hi.
Hi, it's Susan. How are you?
I'm as well as can be expected, Susan. Welcome to the J.A.M.
Yeah. Thank you. Mm-hmm. First, I want to comment on your intro and say that I totally agree with you. I think Trump is in this position he's been elected to help a number of victims, but us certainly. And one of the reasons I say that, besides the biblical aspect, which you laid out so nicely, is that he has also been targeted himself. He fully understands what we're going through, because he almost lost his life. So I totally am very optimistic. I think it's coming. In terms
Susan, wait, 1 second. I love what you're saying. First of all, thank you for the compliments. But I hear somebody that's noisy, and we need to find that person so we can really understand what you're saying. Thank you. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Susan. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. I don't think I can single one thing out. I think the program is designed to break you down, because there are so many different aspects coming at you at any given time. So for me, I don't think I would pick just one. I'm sorry, I can't answer that with just one thing. For me, though, I guess if I had to say, I could narrow it down to a couple. I would say the things they do while I'm trying to sleep. And that's anything from the noise they're bringing to the muscle twitches to actually moving my limbs, the microwave attacks, all of it. I get all of it all night, every day. So probably that. I've kind of gotten used to the gang stalking. I don't care anymore. I mean, I just don't pay any attention. But that's there all the time as well. Maybe the privacy too is right up there. Just by the way I get hit, and when I get hit, whatever I'm doing, they know what I'm doing. Somebody said on another call, these aren't my words, these are this person's words, but they know when I pee, they know when I poop. It's definitely that as well. They know everything I'm doing. And sometimes they think, you know what a sad life that you have to sit there and watch me. Well, I'm actually living my life. You're watching me live my life. You're not living a life. So anyway, those are my comments.
I love it, Susan, and thank you for your compliments at the beginning. So well said. They're not living their life because they're sitting there watching you live yours. I love it.
Right.
Yeah. I love it. All right, welcome to the J.A.M. Thank you for your support and your input. Absolutely. Anybody else? Dag, did we silence the whole room? Everybody's quiet now. I love it, though.
Sorry.
Anybody else who would like to announce yourself, city and state you're from, and what part of the program do you want to see?
Hi, Cassie, Arizona.
Hi. Hi, how are you? Hi, Connie Love.
I would just love. I remember the days when coming home was a joy. And it was such a happy time. Oh, I can't wait to get home. So glad that I'm home, and I'm just loving being at home. And now I hate going home. I hate leaving home. I want that to stop. I want the feelings of enjoying that back again.
I love it. Yes, Constance, and you're going to get it. Oh, you're going to get it. But so well said. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anybody else, please announce yourself, city and state you're from.
Hi, Gaji.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, it's Tori. How you doing?
I'm okay, Tori.
I do have an announcement. I know you have something for me later, but this is if anyone knows David Lucido, he called me tonight just explaining his situation, and he's been committed for the past 9 months. He's going for a hearing, I think, this Thursday. He did say I could share his information if anyone knows him, but he was looking for help. He actually called and asked if it's possible, would I be okay with speaking to a judge? And I said absolutely. But I just wanted to share that, and I do have his information if anyone knows him and wants to reach out.
All right. When you say committed, legally or in terms of mental health?
Mental health, yeah.
Mental health, okay.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
They did the same thing to him that they did to me. You know, it's always the same thing: delusional, unspecific psychosis. You know, when things are being done to you, you're complaining about it, but then they weaponize the system against you.
Right. Wow. Yeah. 9 months. Okay, I'm glad that you received his call. I will talk to you about him, and anyone else who wants information, please speak. And Susan, I'd like to know I'd like you to reach out to me. All right. Go ahead, Tori. I don't want to interrupt you if you had more. Mm-hmm.
No. I know you have the website thing later, so I didn't want to take up too much time on this one.
Okay. All right, thank you. David Lucido, anybody? If anybody wants to reach out or his information, please do speak while we have a chance, and either now or during Q&A. All right, anybody else? Please announce yourself, city and state you're from, and what part of the program do you want to see end?
Hey, I'm Josh in Glendale, Arizona.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how you doing? I'm still on the receiving end of harassment in regards to me not being a Freemason. I was parking on the watch list, and I'm still.
Oh, wait. What's your name? I'm having a hard time hearing you. Maybe you're on Bluetooth
Joshua.
or speakers. Joshua.
Yeah,
hi, Joshua.
Hello, Joshua. I still have issues with a lot of street theater. I receive 24/7 B2K. In regards to my faith, and I have things on the ground referencing different things of my religion, which is Catholic, and it's the Masonic town I'm in. And I wish what part of the program I most would like to see gone is the B2K. I hate it.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's only been going on with me for about 4 months. But I've been conscious of my TI status for a long time, and it's just I never thought I'd get the V2K, and I got it, and it's awful, and that's what I want to see gone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joshua. Thank you for joining the J.A.M. and thank you for your input and your support.
Yep,
all right, everybody. All right.
Hey, Diane from St. Louis.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Hi, as well as can be expected. How are you?
the same. So anyway, yeah. So I think one of the things I've had the full gamut for I don't know many years, but the scariest thing going on is the body area network. That's pretty scary when it's coupled with bioweapons that can be administered to you at any time, any place, right? Because the nanotechnology in your body absorbs it, right? And so that's a pretty scary situation to be in. But I walked the store and there's like 12 different drones outside in the air, and that needs. I mean, I said to myself when I chuckled, I was like, I thought Trump took away money today. Like, where's this funding coming from? Like it's going to happen overnight. But yeah, so
right.
That's the scariest part of the target. Well, and also the damage to my body. My body's been immensely damaged, and skin stuff and burns and all kinds of crazy stuff. So that's what I like to have changed. And I would like it to all go away, honestly.
Yeah.
And have my life back. But I wanted to laugh because the whole gang stalking, street theater stuff is so funny to me because I don't have a car, so I walk everywhere or I'm on my bicycle, and I have to laugh at these people that are on me because they have to walk or they have to ride a bike or they, and I love it, especially when it's snowing. I'll literally just go sit outside because then they have to walk past me in the snow, in the rain. So I just laugh about that.
Funny.
Yeah. So
I
anyway.
love it.
Yeah.
Diana, we have to make hay in the sunshine, as they say. We have to, laugh at the little things and find a little joy in something. So, I love that. You're in St. Louis. Go ahead.
I'm in St. Louis. But what I find gets me through my days is, I can tell you later, but I recently just lost my job at Boeing, which is an interesting story.
I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't hear that.
Oh, I just recently lost my job at Boeing, which I was set up, and it's just interesting now that I hear about all the stuff with Boeing. But you have to find joy. You have to find gratitude. When you wake up and have a grateful heart for something, it changes your mindset. And so I'm very grateful to be on this call tonight because you have such an energy, and this group does, and I really needed this today. So I'm very grateful to be on this call tonight.
Thank you. So glad you could be here. Please send me an email, the Justice Action Meeting at proton.me, the Justice Action Meeting at proton.me, because we're working on something for February 6th, and maybe in your area, in the capital of Missouri, I think, is St. Louis. So there may be a group of people there, and we'd love to meet you.
Yeah, it's actually Jeff City.
Where is it? Jefferson City.
Jefferson City is the capital.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is it close to St. Louis?
No, it's close enough. I'm going to say probably a couple hours. It's towards the Kansas City direction.
That's not close. Oh, okay. All right.
It'd be a long bike ride.
That's a very long bike ride.
But we can do it.
But and you're also inspiring people to be athletic. So that's a wonderful thing. I often say that my colors are the colors they supposedly bother me with, are orange and lime. And before that, I was seeing a lot of red and gray and black and white. But I said I have brightened the world because all I see everywhere is orange and lime, trucks and cars, and imagine that, lime cars, guys. Yeah,
that's scary.
Amazing.
That's scary.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, thank you again.
Exactly. All right. Thank you. Okay. Next caller, please.
Hi, this is Dana.
Anybody?
Hi, Daddy.
Hi. How are you?
Good. It's Dana from Detroit.
Hi, Dana.
I would like to see the corruptness from the government and the elites go away, and then maybe we can get our lives back.
All right.
And like
thank
Diane,
you.
I sometimes when they go to sleep, I might get back up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I don't hear you. I don't know why everybody's calls seem to be fading. I don't understand. But go ahead, Dana. I just heard you said you wanted to. Your answer is similar to Diane's. So thank you. Thank you for your input. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. Okay. Next caller, please. Anybody else want to announce yourself, city and state you're from, and the part of the program you want to bring up?
Hi, GoGi.
Hi.
Hi, GoGi. This is Tamara from Lindenwold, New Jersey.
Hi, Tamara.
And, how you doing? How's everyone actually also?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say but there are so many things, but I'll try to make it short. I would say the two most things that try to disrupt your life and your body, your health, I feel like the part where they disrupt your sleep, like they're constantly disrupting my sleep in the night so you don't get proper rest, which could make you disoriented, sleep deprivation. And, of course, the V2K is like the number one with the sleep with me, because with the V2K they do the threats, like threatening my family, because they know that we know how they try to get your likes, and they watch you and they get all your likes and your love. So they know my family is like my heart. So they would do this V2K with terroristic threats, things of that nature. So I would say the V2K and the attacks when they're sleeping me, zapping me in the night where I'm waking up, heart racing and all that kind of stuff. So, but I would say those are the top two that I would want to end.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. I certainly understand. God bless you, and welcome to the J.A.M.
Thank you. God bless you, too.
I'd like to say hello. This is Christy from Idaho. Hey, GoGi. Hey, everyone. I haven't been on the call in a week or two. And I just want to say, lately, the things that bother me the most are the frequencies that are affecting parts of my body, like everyone. And also, lately, there are random people coming to my door, and I'm not answering it, and they, fake like they're tax person, but I don't owe taxes, but they have a legit business card, and tonight it's person in a yellow vest with a woman in a big black bag, just video cameras are good, but it's just it's really these people, some of them are straight up just criminals. The criminal element, I'm just done. Criminal element, and that's it. That's
Thank you so much for that, Chris from Idaho. All right. Anybody else?
This is Margaret. This is Margaret from Georgia. Hi. GoGi, you may not know me, but I've been here a long time. And what I'd like to see, what I'd like to see dry up is the money. We got to find a way to get to Elon Musk and the efficiency team to tell them to dry up the money to the DOJ that would sponsor weaponization. And we have got to find a way to make that happen. And I've been working on it for years. And what we have to do is we have to have a voice. And your voice is a letter. So please don't hesitate to write a letter. And you can write it to the new Congress Intelligence Committee to get it through. So thank you for letting me speak. I used to make Sunday dinner for my family every Sunday. This program interrupted that. And for me, happiness is cooking for my family on a Sunday and seeing them all around my table returning grace to the good God who gave us the food. So y'all help me pray that I get to do that before I die. I'm still 76 years old, and I want to see that happen at my house before I go away.
Amen.
Thank you, Godji.
God bless you, Margaret. Oh, my God, that's so beautiful. Thank you. And I do pray in the name of Jesus that you will. I believe you will. I can't wait for a picture. We're going to put it on the website of your first Sunday family dinner when we're free. Thank you, and God bless you and your family. Oh, wow.
God bless you.
Okay, so thank you for being here. And this is the first time I've heard you speak. Thank you for everyone who comes on and, just listens. That's a beautiful thing. The oh God, I wrote NCI. I don't know what the N stands for, but Congressional Intelligence Committee or something. Margaret.
It's usually the Select Intelligence Committee.
Is it the House Judiciary Subcommittee Select? The one with Jim Jordan? Yeah, okay. Yeah, the House Judiciary Subcommittee Select. Absolutely. So we will certainly. Now, I know they wrote their report. We're supposed to review it. Hopefully we'll review it next week. They wrote a 17,000-page report summarizing all the things that happened. Yeah, I have a copy, and I have a copy of the summary, which is much shorter, of course. So we're gonna share that on the call because I know that the new administration is gonna tear it apart. They're gonna dive right into it, which is a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. All right, I'll come back to that when we. Hi, how are you?
Hi, GoGi. It's Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Doing? I have something here to read from.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Michelle. I don't know what's going on with the audio tonight.
Let me try to because when I'm on two things, it kind of.
Oh, that's you. Okay, then it's you.
So I turned off the laptop.
Okay, good.
But we have an executive order from the White House, and it says ending the weaponization of the federal government. I'm just going to read briefly. Section 1, the American people have witnessed the previous administration engage in a systematic campaign against its perceived political opponents, weaponizing the legal force of numerous federal law enforcement agencies and the intelligence agencies against those perceived political opponents in the form of investigations, prosecutions, civil enforcement actions, and other related actions. These actions appear oriented more toward inflicting political pain than toward pursuing actual justice or legitimate governmental objectives. Many of these activities appear to be inconsistent with the Constitution and or laws of the United States, including those activities directed at parents protesting at school board meetings, Americans who spoke out against the previous administration's actions, and other Americans who are simply exercising constitutionally protected rights. The prior administration and allies throughout the country engaged in an unprecedented third world weaponization of prosecutorial power to impede the democratic process. It targeted individuals who voiced opposition to the prior administration's policies with numerous federal investigations and politically motivated funding revocations, which cost Americans access to needed services.
All right. fucking stinking in my cheeks.
The Department of Justice even jailed an individual for posting a political meme. And while the Department of Justice ruthlessly prosecuted, this is the January 6th stuff, I'm going to move on. I think everybody should read this on their own. Section 2, policy, is the policy of the United States to identify and take appropriate action to correct the past misconduct of the federal government related to the weaponization of law enforcement and the weaponization of the intelligence community. Section 3, ending the weaponization of the federal government. The Attorney General, in consultation with the heads of all departments and agencies of the United States, shall take appropriate action to review the activities of all departments and agencies exercising civil or criminal enforcement authority of the United States, including but not limited to the Department of Justice, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the Federal Trade Commission over the last 4 years, and identify any instances where a department or agency's conduct appears to have been contrary to the purposes and policies of this order.
Okay. Thank you for that.
To the President. The last part, the Director of National Intelligence, in consultation with the heads of the appropriate departments and agencies with the intelligence community, shall take appropriate action to review the activities of the intelligence community over the last 4 years and identify instances where the intelligence community's conduct appears to have been contrary to the purposes and policies of this order.
All right.
And there's
thank you. Oh, go ahead. You have more stuff? That's the last part?
Well, no, there's more to read, but what this is, an executive order ending the weaponization of the federal government to the American public.
Yes. That is the good news and the good answer. Thank you for that. I'm going to go a little bit into it, not deeper, but a little bit into it. And as you said, everybody should read it because people are walking around and asking, do we think this is going to end? And if you really look, the signs are there. The signs are there. Things are being laid out. So thank you for that, Michelle. Thank you for joining the Jam. Thank you for your support always.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you too.
Hey, GoGi, this is Diane again. I just wanted to make a comment if I could. If you follow any of the J6ers and the whole free the hostages, it hit me the other day that we are all hostages. We are hostages, right? We need to be free. And
absolutely.
They took that the same stance that they're political hostages. Well, we all are political hostages, And it just hit me just the other day. I thought that was very interesting.
I love it. And it's amazing to me that as things unfold each time, it's everybody except the TIs. It's the focus on the diplomats for Havana Syndrome, the focus on the J6ers, the focus on political like Trump and what they did with him. And, but we are going to get our day in the sun. Trust me, we are. But it's funny to sit here and watch everybody else be spoken about as if we were truly invisible.
Yeah, it's true. And we also had the FISA 702 that was, I guess, blocked or stopped. But the thing about that is, if you look at the congressional, the weaponization, where they did the investigation after that and realized there was it 300 million false inquiries into the FISA court system. And I really believe that's what they use, like, for example, with a targeted victim, they run them through that and they use that opportunity to surveil and create a profile on the targeted victim. And they use that surveillance to frame them before they ever make it covert to to anybody. And then those are the crimes they use to, basically change your life. You never have a due process. So it all just kind of hit me the last couple of days because I'm not working, so I'm like all into it, which is good, but it's good.
Absolutely, absolutely. A lot to think about and to do to get work. So I hope that while you're, who knows, it might only be a minute while you're able to have a little extra time. But we certainly want to write some letters and get some action going. So I hope you'll participate. All right. So
I am already on that.
All right. Thank you. Good, Diane. All right. Anybody else before we close down and get into the news?
Yes, can I say something? It's Barbara from San Diego.
Hi, how are you? What did you say your name was?
Barbara from San Diego.
Hi, Barbara from San Diego. Hi.
Hi there. I learned about this listening to Sarah Westall, who's on the board of Targeted Justice, and she was talking, saying that there is a global gold monetary fund that is the gatekeepers, basically, of physical assets that has gold in the Philippines that is enough, if they use it as collateral, to wipe the debt off of the entire world. And
wow.
She said she did major research, and she hasn't found anything to say that it isn't true. So I'm just kind of putting it out there because it's interesting information, and also the fact that President Trump was talking about the golden age, which is an interesting choice of words. And according to Sarah, she said that some of his people went to the Philippines to investigate if the stores of gold are really true. So I'm just adding that in there because that would be great if it got into the right hands, because people want greed, with power and control, and if the debt was wiped out for people, they would lose that control.
Wow, what a great idea, Barbara. I did read something about that, and she had a link where people, if you have any extra money and you can start buying, she had a place where you can start buying the gold and buying so that you can start, saving and like Barbara said, get in position to fight back this, this against this greed and assumption or consumption of all of everything, so that nobody else has anything. So to get your hand in the pot, and the prices were pretty reasonable. They started pretty low for a little bit. You could just do a little at a time, like I was thinking about the stocks. Some people, when you consider getting into the stock market, you think you have to have thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars even, but you could do penny stocks. There are, you could do penny stocks. You could start small, and it's the same with this thing here that Sarah Westall mentioned. I did look at that. Thank you for that, Barbara.
Yeah, she was saying that the gold, there's so much of it that they have to view it via satellite. And anyway, it's an interesting thought if it gets in the right hands and it's used in the proper way for humanity.
Okay, I have to check it out. I have to check it out further. I just looked at one of the links that she had, but I'll look into it further, and if so, then present it to the J.A.M. I'll present it to the J.A.M.sters.
It was the Global Gold Monetary Fund that she's talking about. All right, thank you.
The Global Gold Monetary Fund. All right.
Yeah, Global Gold Monetary Fund.
Mm-hmm. Monetary Fund. I think it's the same thing. All right, I'll look at it, though. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining me again. Mm-hmm.
Hi, GoGi's. This is Shannon.
Hi, how are you? Hi, Janet. How are you?
No, Shannon, the singer.
Shannon. Hi, Shannon.
Hi.
Shannon,
how are you,
the one who I have your little girl saying "I pledge allegiance." That's Shannon.
Yes, that's her. That's me.
Hi, Jazz Cat. How are you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
We're all right. We miss you. Hopefully you'll sing with the voices for Valentine's Day, but it's up to you.
I just wanted to come by and say hi and just chime in and see what you guys, just chime in and see where you guys are at. So, hi.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining the J.A.M. You're always welcome. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your input. Thank you for being here. We have a great program planned, so sit back, relax, enjoy, and be inspired.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Hello, GoGi. This is Armando.
Hi, Armando. It was a pleasure meeting you this weekend.
Yes.
Hey, guys.
It was nice meeting you and everyone else. I'm glad that I got to see you guys in person. So anyway, I'm multitasking, but I dialed in, and I'm going to be mostly listening tonight. But I want to just start off by saying hello, and it was a pleasure meeting you and the others, and keep up the great work. There's a lot of work to do, as you always say. I think we're just getting started, as Anna Toledo said recently. So we have to stay focused, and we got to keep moving forward and doing whatever we can. I know it's hard for a lot of us, and myself included. Very, very challenging and difficult. I had some surprises when I got back in my house here from the trip. Anyway, I don't know. But it's being taken care of. No problem. Yeah, it's being taken care of. Things are being addressed, and we're just taking it one day at a time and moving forward as best as we can here. But I did want to say hello and let you know that I'm here listening. And thank you very much for everything you do.
My pleasure. Thank you for being here.
Yep.
All right. Armando, it's a pleasure. He was the driver for his group. All right. Anybody else? Hi, how are you?
Good. This is Jen from South Carolina. So I wanted to share something. Hi. I wanted to share something with you guys because I was watching TV the other night and I actually seen something. It was on a paranormal show, believe it or not. And I don't know if anybody's heard of it, but it's called Moo Metal. And I was just going to read something to you real quick about it. It says, because I Googled it, and it says, yes, Moo Metal can help to significantly reduce electromagnetic interference, specifically by shielding against magnetic fields, effectively diverting magnetic flux away from sensitive equipment, making it primary material used for magnetic shielding in applications like transformers, hard drives, and medical imaging devices. It says it is important to note that Moo Metal does not completely stop electromagnetic radiation, but rather redirects it due to its high magnetic permeability. And it says that Moo Metal works by concentrating magnetic field lines within itself, effectively diverting them away from the area you want it to.
Wow. Where do you get this? Did you say new or blue?
It's Moo. I'm going to type it in the chat. It's MU-metal. And you can get it like people in like North and South Carolina. There is a metal company in Charlotte that sells it, and you can buy small blocks of it. You can also look it up online and purchase small blocks of it. And the show that I was watching the other night, she said to get a small piece of it and place it in each room of your home, and that way it will help.
Okay.
This is Susan. Right. I'm quite familiar with Moo Metal as well. You can also buy it on Amazon. It's gone up in price, though, recently. I use it a lot, and I use it primarily on me. So if I'm being hit particularly hard, which is all the time, I'll actually put it in the spot where I'm being hit, and it I would say most of the time it reduces the attack about 60-70%. One thing to note about Moo Metal is it has to stay fairly straight. If it starts to curve, which mine has, because I use it around my head, it's not as effective. So you want to keep it fairly straight. But I appreciate the comments from the last person. I wasn't quite aware of exactly how they're recommending to use it. I just bought it I read about it, and I do find it very effective. Unfortunately, as I said, it's quite expensive. I think a 5x7 or 8x10 sheet is like $70. The person who called before, I'm sorry, I don't remember her name. If she has a place where it's cheaper, I would love to hear because I'd like to buy more. I use silver material from lessemf.com, and it's not as effective as Moo Metal. Moo Metal's the best, so she's totally right.
Wow, thank you guys. And this is what I'm talking about. This is how you skin the cat from a whole bunch of different ways. Oh, my ebonics. A whole bunch of different ways. We're going to skin the cat whichever way we can. And if it means putting Moo Metal, 1 block in each room, putting some on your body, let's stop it. Let's put a stop to the program in every way we can. All right. Thank you for your comment.
Yeah, thanks for.
Yes.
I've had some experience with that as well. Another thing that works really, really good is Organite. Part of my targeting is like being electrocuted, right? And so I found this place that I can go to, and I had this big chunk of Organite, and it literally took it away from my leg. Like, it was amazing. And it is a little bit expensive, but I'm thinking about getting into. You have to make it. So it's a variety of different. Yeah, it's a variety of different metals, copper and some other things like that, and it's put into like an epoxy. And you can get you can buy a little thing for the back of your phone. You can buy a necklace. You can buy a triangle or a square or something like that, and put it like in your house or on your body. So that kind of stuff works really well. And the other thing, there was a lady talking. Yeah, there was a lady talking about being kept up with Voice to Skull. And my whole thing that I now have learned in my journey is that sometimes in order to combat frequency, you need to do it with frequency, right? You need to mix up the frequency that you're being hit with. And I find that a lot of, even just going on YouTube, you can find, there's one thing called like Kill Nanobots. And it's like 20 minutes, and you just play it with your headsets. And I've walked away with just a very clear mind. I could feel it. And so there's all those types of things. And a lot of times, because I have the bioweapons in the Body Area Network, I actually have to play things most of the night. So it just allows me to sleep. Yeah. So just maybe some suggestions there that I found in my journey.
Oh, you guys are blessing me, blessing everybody so much. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hi, GoGi.
Hi, how are you?
Doing all right. How about you?
Well, as can be expected.
Okay. I said hello to you with Manny when he called on video call when you guys were at Washington, and I just want to say thank you for your activism. We do not take it for granted. Thank you for this platform, and thank you for everything. We do appreciate it.
Thank you. You're what's your name?
Ola.
Ola. Hi, Ola.
Yeah.
I got to see you through Mindy.
Yeah.
My pleasure. I got to see you by video during
during the inauguration.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your support and input. All right.
You're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome. GoGi, I have a shielding tip. It's not really a shielding tip. I have some shielding tips, but if you're getting electrocuted, I don't know why a lot of people don't know this. It took me months of research to know this too. And I told this to a lot of TIs that I speak with. This program, what they do is they don't want you to have evidence. If you're getting electrocuted, you can actually prove it by getting a multimeter. That was when it ended for me. I got a multimeter. You get a multimeter, and you put it in the ACV setting. They were so desperate not to be found out, they hacked the first one I got, which was digital. Yeah. So I had to go get the analog. What did you say?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I had to get
an analog
analog multimeter. Right now I have both the digital and the analog. And when that happened, I took the reading of my body. I documented it and I sent it to my brother. And that was when the electrocution stopped. Because they know if you're being hit, a lot of people don't know that if you're being hit with frequencies, certain frequencies, you might not be able to prove that. But if you're being hit constantly with microwave, and Armando told me this, is the guy that makes the Silent Night. Your body converts that frequency into electricity. If it's constant at a point, because the body is an electrical circuit, and these criminals know that. If you're being hit with a magnetic field, a multimeter, guys, keep quiet. A multimeter, all you have to do is set it to the DC. It's still going to record that. A multimeter can expose a lot of nonsense that they do to us. So now, what they have to stick to is the frequencies, certain frequencies. And I know the second thing I want to say is I know some lady said something about mu meter, and I don't say it doesn't work, but what has really been profound for me is getting it's they call it EMF beanie or EMF hat, but they're not made the same. The one that actually blocks everything, even the millimeter waves. A lot of people don't know this, and I know they would try to shut that company down. I was trying to tell ATI, the company was previously called Lamps, but now it's called Avon.
It's called who?
It's called Avon. That's AHAVN.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Hello.
Okay.
If you go on their website, it blocks whatever nonsense up to the 40 gigahertz. There's no material that comes close to it. So let's say the U.S. government uses, I know this is all technical, it's a little bit technical, but I'll break it down. Let's say they use the 300 gigahertz range, because the more shielding you get, sometimes all they have to do is turn it up to where they want to have the effect. But they can't turn it up more than that, because all these cell towers are also monitored, and they're trying to go under the radar. So if you get like 2 or 3 of those beanies with your gel hats, the sleeping ones, each of those beanies cost $69. With your gel hats, there's no way the attack to your head is gonna penetrate. And I also have the pajama for my body. Now this is not cheap. Like the set for the shirts and the pants is $500. But I need this because it makes a whole lot of difference on my body. And the beanie itself, each one costs $69. So if people can get that, it's gonna actually attenuate or completely shield instead of the mu metal. I'm not saying the mu metal does not work. I have the orgonite and everything, but those are the 2 things that have been profound for me, including my grounding map.
Wow, thank you so much, Ola. That is so helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, everything Ola said I resonate with. I've done a lot of those things she just mentioned. I also have the digital multimeters, which they hit me so hard that it took out my multimeters, destroyed them basically. Now, she said that she contacted someone. When she found out and she had the readings and everything, she sent a letter to someone. Can I missed that part? Can she repeat that?
Oh no, I sent I recorded it, and I made a video of what my body's voltage was. I think it was 20 then, and I made a video because I know we're gonna have a day in court. So, and everything I try to keep on my phone or my devices, it gets erased or hacked. So I had to get my brother to open an email address for me that I don't have access to, and I make him back up the video. That's what I said.
Oh, okay, all right.
So for when I need yes, I made sure to document the day, the time it happened. I made a video of my multimeter and what my reading was saying. I took the reading of my children. They were not 8, so it's just glaring. You can't hide. You can except they get their hands on that multimeter, they'll try and hack it. You can't hide your body voltage. There's no reason why my body voltage or anybody's body voltage should be 20 if you're not hit by a new weapon. Yeah.
Yes, you're doing good.
Yeah.
You're doing real good. You're doing real good, Ola.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Loving this conversation. I'm just going to flow with it. So if anyone else has a comment, I
like it. But I have a question for Ola. I love it, yes. Ola, where did you get the multimeter?
I got it from Amazon, but you can get some on eBay, but mine is from Amazon. Both the digital and the analog is from Amazon, and I make sure to ship when I want to. You have to stay 2 steps ahead of these criminals. I always make sure to get the overnight shipping so they don't intercept it. So it gets dropped by 4 a.m. They try to do a lot of things because it's Amazon. So if you, I don't know if you can get it in a physical store. I'm pretty sure you can. But what I do is spend a maximum of $25, get it overnighted, and I wait by the door to make sure I keep track of it, to make sure I got it. So I keep it on me. I know I was telling the TI, the TI said, I know they must hate you so much. I said, yeah, this feeling is mutual. So you want to hurt me and you don't want me to have evidence, you have to work harder. I make them work 3 times hard for me. So I keep the multimeter on me all the time. GoGi, I'm telling you, it's been 3 months. Nobody has hit me with anything.
I love it. I want to hear that again in 3 months. Go ahead, girl.
3 months. Nobody was able to hit me because they know once they do, I'm going to bust that multimeter out, document what happened. That's a concrete proof right there.
I love it. I love it. And, I'm not surprised because anytime if you're around gang stalkers, you take out a camera and they leave because it's the collection of evidence that they hate.
Yes, they don't want you to have evidence. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, guys, we were trying to get to the news, but I mean, so valuable tonight. I'm going to sum it up in a minute. I'm just trying to give anybody else have anything to say before we get into the news? Okay,
yes, I
let's close
if that's possible.
Oh, I'm sorry?
I'm this is my first time here. I'm targeted. Well, let me introduce myself. My name's. Is it okay to talk?
Well, it depends. What you just wanted to say hello, sir?
No. I'm just wanted to join the group.
Okay, welcome to the group. What's your name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy, welcome to the group. And do you want to tell your city and state? If it's okay if you do, or is it okay if you don't?
No, it's fine. American Canyon, California.
You're from California. Well, welcome to the group, Jeremy from California. We're getting ready to get into the news, and we'll talk back and forth, and we'll have Q&A at the end. Right now, we're just saying what part of the program we'd like to see end.
Okay.
All right. But if you have at the end, if you have a question or something that you would like help with, please join us for Q&A. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, and welcome to the group. All right?
Thank you.
Welcome to the
Thanks
group.
for having me.
All right. And my pleasure. All right, we're going to pull it down. We're going to get ready for the news and continue moving. All right, guys, I want to thank you for that. I could have done that forever. I wish we just had one night we're just going to free flow, right? And watch when I say we're just going to free flow tonight, nobody's talking. That's just how it goes. It's just, I'll say let's free flow and nobody will say anything. So, but here we got a jam-packed night, but the information was so valuable. Ola, I want you to control all the kids. When we go somewhere, you're in charge of the children. Ola told her children to be quiet. Nothing. They were quiet as a mouse. Just beautiful. That's how you do it. This is how we do it, okay? Jeremy, welcome to the J.A.M. So glad that you could be here. I hope that something inspires you and that any questions that you have are answered. If not, please feel free to join us with Q&A. And, oh, my God, between Susan and Diane and Barbara and the whole conversation, Armando, everybody, hola, the information, exceptional, guys. Moo, Metal, Organite, what else did I write down? The multimeter, documenting, videotaping, and recording the multimeter on your body. Sending it to someone, I believe, is the key. Not only having it in your phone or on a disk or something, send it to someone because emails leave a trace. So, and they don't want any of that. And, of course, you heard us or everybody discussing seasoned TIs know about Amazon, okay? The extent to which Ola had to go to get a true product. Extra payment for shipping it overnight, maybe making the order in the middle of the night, getting it there, making sure it's there, tracking it on your phone, you know. So half my stuff at the beginning, even though I have Prime, I said, why am I paying for Prime and I'm never getting my stuff on time? Because they were interfering. Stuff open when you come. It's just, you know. So that's what we were talking about, the program. And thank you, Michelle, for reading the executive part of the executive order. And my point really is this, that as much as we want the program to end, and there's a part of us that's a little anxious about it or thinking that maybe it will not happen, you know, because we just think that we hope that we were going to be free in 23. Expect more in 24. So here's 25. It's like, is it really going to happen? But if you really look at the signs, then we're going to look at some of them right now. I believe it's our time. So let's look at the signs. I wanted to look at something that Rand Paul said. And where is it? Of course, it disappeared. Here it is. Okay. So Senator Rand Paul, now he says a lot. I just started following him, and he often says a lot, so I'll just pick out some of the things he said. But recently he said he will take down the corrupt DHS, Department of Homeland Security. Senator Rand Paul says that DHS has spent billions illegally surveilling, monitoring social media, and labeling innocent civilians as domestic terrorists. Is he talking about us? Doesn't it sound like it? Illegally surveilling, monitoring social media, and labeling innocent civilians as domestic terrorists. Okay? And he said this recently. So we're going to watch Senator Rand Paul. We're going to create a letter. I'm going to have a letter available on the website. We're going to talk about the website a little later. And that letter will be available as a template. Put your name in it, this and that, send it to Senator Rand Paul. Okay? So that's homework assignment number 1. And that's an open invitation as far as I'm concerned. All right. I'm just writing that name down. All right. And Paul. So he wants to take down DHS. All right. Then the next one, we got to give him ammunition, is I wanted to look at, and Michelle started reading it, Trump's executive order. So we're not going to read the entire thing. And I love your advice, Michelle. Absolutely, everyone should read it for themselves. But it says Trump will sign executive order to bring an end to weaponization of the government. We will have a complete investigation into the use of police-state tactics by federal authorities to arrest conservatives and Christians. Okay? And he said he was going to issue an order, executive order, on Monday aimed at ending the weaponization of the federal government. The Daily Wire can exclusively report. Trump, hours after being sworn in, and this is what I'm saying too. Somebody had a social media post saying that it seemed like it was a continuation of the same thing, as if Trump was on the same side with Biden and it's just going to be, if you didn't see something new or feel something different happening during that inauguration, I mean, first when I saw Melania, she looked different. She looked stately. She was a first lady. She is a first lady. She stepped into the role. I don't see that to me, my opinion, she didn't step into the role last time. She didn't want to hold his hand. There's pictures of her pushing his hand away. They seem like they're on one accord. They seem friendly, like something happened. You know, some good stuff is happening between them. And she seemed happy and excited, and he did too. And he seemed a little more humble than usual. And I mentioned on last week when I was unable to be here that he even read from a speech. Can you believe it? I mean, and I wasn't a Trumpster. Okay, I'm a Trumpster now. I was not, and I complained. One of my complaints was, oh my God, he speaks from the top of his head. He just speaks. Whatever comes up comes out. He says anything. That's how he says stuff like, you know, let's drink bleach to kill COVID. But it makes sense that if there's certain properties in bleach that kill the virus, let's get those properties and try to, you know, but we have to make it human grade, right? But if you don't have a speech or you don't filter it somehow, it just comes in and up and out before you know it. So anyway, right now he's using speeches. He's just, I'm loving what he's done, because he also told us exactly what he's going to do, and he daggone did it. He sat down and signed those things, and I mean, it takes temperance, it takes everything that you want a leader to exemplify. He exemplified right when he stepped in, and did more, you know, than the other administration the whole time. They had to sit there through what he did. They had to sit there and listen to him. It was just amazing. There you go.
Hello?
I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me, Tranquility?
Hi, yes.
I'm
Can
sorry,
you hear me?
guys. I can hear you. I think I was talking too truthfully, and I was cut off, but I'm back. So I guess I'll change the topic. All right, but not really. All right, so yeah, I just love the way this administration came in. I really do. I think he hit the ground running, and we can expect a lot to happen. So we're going to continue on with this executive order. I'm just going to read a little bit of it. Okay. So Trump, hours after being sworn in as the 47th President of the United States of America, will sign an executive order directing the incoming Attorney General to aggressively scour government records and activities from President Joe Biden's administration to uncover every action that was taken to punish perceived political opponents. The Attorney General, potentially Trump nominee Pam Bondi, which we know she's in place, will then compile these instances of weaponized government as well as recommendations on how to address this weaponization and wrongdoing into an actionable report and deliver that report to Trump. The order is aimed at delivering accountability to federal agencies that use their power to violate the rights of American citizens, the Daily Wire has learned. An incoming White House policy advisor shared that the executive order is about executing on a key campaign promise, one that Americans feel very strongly about. That advisor shared examples of weaponization. Wealthy figures who started speaking out against the Biden administration and all of a sudden found themselves with more than 20 investigations by all the three-letter agencies. People jailed for posting memes, parents targeted over education, and the Justice Department spending tens of millions of dollars prosecuting more than 1,500 people associated with January 6th, then dropping the majority of the Black Lives Matter cases from the 2020 rioting. So the Black Lives Matter cases and the J6ers attacked both of them with arrests and legalities and spending all this money against them and then dropping them, but tortured them in the meantime. All right. So Trump is expected to sign more than 200 executive orders on Inauguration Day, and he did. All right. Let me see. I want to just jump around here because we know a lot of this has already taken place. And so I'm going to read the last paragraph. We will have a complete investigation into the use of police state tactics by federal authorities to arrest conservatives and Christians, the order will say. We will find out who ordered it, and we will hold them accountable. I love it. So if we're asking, will the program end? If they're signing these executive orders into action, they're going to get to us. We are the bottom line. And what we've heard tonight so far is how we can make it until it happens. Okay? To say just be patient, hold on. I always tell you, keep your head up, hold on, it's happening. But the information that was shared tonight, it was just so timely. To me, it's so organically God, is that in the meantime, what do? This is what we do. Find that mu metal. Can't get the mu metal, maybe the organite. And one woman was saying to me, we'll talk about that in depth. How can we make it ourselves? What can we make that's similar to these things that will help us? The multimeter, if we get the analog one, I would prefer going somewhere and picking it up as opposed to ordering it from anywhere. But an analog one and use it on our body, videotape it, send it to somebody. We have that documentation. So we'll keep getting ourselves in place, keep shielding and doing what we can in the meantime. All right, so I don't want to tarry too long because we stayed at that part of the program longer than expected. All right, so let me see what is next. All right, we have a video with Trump as well. Lady T, I heard you earlier. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Gaji.
All right, let's go.
From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first. Our sovereignty will be reclaimed. Our safety will be restored. The scales of justice will be rebalanced. The vicious, violent, and unfair weaponization of the Justice Department and our government will end. And our top priority will be to create a nation that is proud, prosperous, and free.
All right. So he keeps it in there, guys. Just hear that. He keeps in there the weaponization of our government will end. And, he has most of his team in the 29th. I'm always looking up the date, okay? The 29th, tomorrow. That is RFK Jr.'s hearing. The 30th is Tulsi Gabbard's hearing. This is when they have to go through what they go through to be nominated and sworn in and accepted and all that. So be praying for that, expecting that. We want that. We need that. And then will we see even more? Kash Patel is in. Who was the secretary that came in? Bam, fired Mark Milley. I got that from Map News Question tonight. Fired Mark Milley for what? Because they fired direct energy weapons into the crowd with the J6ers. Okay? Do direct energy weapons exist? Yes. They use direct energy weapons against the J6ers, and Mark Milley is fired. As Trump said, you're fired. Okay? So things are happening. Things are happening day by day, minute by minute. This is a very historical time. Okay, so let me see. We have another video, and we want to look back a little bit. You know, people keep talking about MK Ultra, and the reason I believe they're talking about it so much lately is because they're going to do something about it. People are going to get paid. Finally, though. Finally. Because, I mean, these when I hear these people talk, we are hearing the children and grandchildren talk about what happened to their parents and what happened to them that they saw, you know. And I don't know how many actual survivors there are. I would love to get that number. But we're hearing them talk about what happened. They are eyewitnesses to what happened. And they're going to get paid because it should not have happened. It's just horrible. All right, so we're going to show here a little video clip. I have a little something to read. We have, and then what the doctor said. So we're going to stay with MK Ultra for a second, and then we're going to bring it back current. Lady T, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Another common method was the use of extreme Page-Russell electroshock therapy.
Page-Russell shock treatment is approximately 40 to 75 times the strength of a normal shock treatment. So it's really designed to wipe out the memory.
He received 54 high-voltage shock treatments, followed by 54 grand mal seizures.
After 27 days of this, they said that they were discouraged because he still had ties to his former life, in that he was asking to see his wife. They decided to give him more Page-Russell shock treatment and put him to sleep for another 30 days.
When patients were released from the Allen Memorial, they and their families' lives would never be the same again.
Well, there's a lot I could not remember after I got out of the Allen. When my family came, I was a zombie. I didn't even know who they were.
He never came out the same. He had a blank look in his eye. He didn't know who we were. He didn't know we were his daughters. He lost his job. We went into poverty after he came out.
He had said in his interview with the shrink that I was the apple of his eye. And after he came home, he started beating me not long after.
In 1973, the MK Ultra program was terminated, and some of the evidence of its activities was systematically erased.
The whole thing was basically discovered because of a whistleblower named John Mark, who wrote the first book really about the program called The Search for the Manchurian Candidate. There were congressional hearings here in the United States in the mid-'70s after it had been exposed. And during those hearings, the CIA finally admitted that this program existed. They admitted that it was probably not the right thing to do, but they feigned innocence.
Despite the congressional hearings and marginal interest in the subject in popular culture, most MK Ultra survivors suffered in silence, taking their trauma wave. Today, having received no formal apology or compensation, the children of some survivors are pursuing a class action lawsuit against the institutions they deem responsible.
You know, the CIA knew that it was breaking, every moral, ethical, and legal law in the books to do these experiments.
They all were behind it. They all knew what they were doing, but they weren't doing it out of care or love. They were doing it out of military and political reasons.
I am on medication now because of what happened to me when I was 16. I have not had any compensation or apology. I want everyone to know in Canada what went on in that horrible, horrible hospital.
While historians and survivors have exposed MK Ultra's exploits to the world, much remains unknown about its extent and wider impact. Given the highly sensitive nature of the program's activity, it is likely this will remain the case for years to come.
Okay. Still MK Ultra. Did you hear? They said he put him to sleep for 30 days. How do you put somebody to sleep for 30 days? And the daughter said her father told her before he went in that she was the apple of his eyes, and then came home and started beating her. And so they were changing their personality. It's just, unbelievable the things that were happening. And most of it happened at the Allen Institute in Canada, but they also did things in the States to people. So that MK Ultra, they got away with a lot, but they're going to pay for it. They're still, the families are not letting it go. All right, so we have something from a doctor. I'm going to save that until next week. We're going to stay current. We bring it current now and talk a little bit about smart dust. I've heard people complain about smart dust, and we're going to talk about the antidote after. But first, we're going to talk. Let's hear the clip, Lady T.
All righty.
Mm-hmm.
They also talk about microdust as a weapon. They say that this micron-sized mechanized dust, which is distributed as an aerosol and inhaled into the lungs, the dust mechanically bores into the lung and executes various pathological missions. They say it's a completely new type of warfare, and it is legal. It's legal. This is what they're going to do to all the humans on the face of this planet. It's all illegal. And then they talk about how the use of frequencies will be used in warfare. And we know, for example, the smart meters that are being deployed around the globe, the replacement of our electric meters, which will also and does include the replacement of all of our gas meters and our water meters as well, and will be connected to our food supply when they collapse the currency and they issue energy allowances, and that will all be controlled through the metering system. But they talk about the use of low frequencies, microwave frequencies, and they mention in this NASA document the U.S. Army report. The U.S. Army report is on our website, smartmetersmurder.com. It's about a 20-page Army document that talks about the use of frequencies to target the enemy. We're the enemy. And they say 100% of the human population will be affected by these frequencies. Some will be the canaries in the coal mine, which is a term that they've been using as people have been dropping like flies. People are...
Okay. All right. So the smart dust, which is impacting us and going into our lungs, one of the things that Dave Case said to use is the carrot juice, just to blend up some carrots and drink it. I asked, can I add ginger? He was like, it'll be better just straight by itself. And then if you want to do any other concoction, because I love concoctions, but the carrot juice by itself destroys that smart dust and the what's it called, the Agent Orange. He believes they're spraying all these things that they have us breathing in to impact us. And I also recommend diatomaceous earth, DE, and because it cleans out the lungs. All right. So, all right. What are we doing now? We're going to take a minute for a commercial break. And then we're going to come back and see what they're doing with the TSA. That shows you or tells us that things are happening. All right, let's go. Tranquility, you ready?
Are you feeling like something strange is happening in your life? You tell others, but nobody believes you? Well, get ready to uncover the truth with GoGi's Justice's groundbreaking book, GoGi's 10 signs which indicate you're a targeted individual. GoGi Justice, an everyday person just like you, has written a book that exposes the covert illegal activities happening right under our noses. With a writing style that's raw, honest, and relatable, GoGi takes you on a journey through the dark world of targeted individuals. You'll ask yourself if you are experiencing these signs. Learn about infiltration, gang stalking, privacy violations, and even hacked home appliances. GoGi's book is a beacon of hope, providing encouragement, tips, and resources for those who find themselves trapped in this nightmare. It's time to fight back and regain control of your life. So if you're tired of feeling isolated, unheard, and targeted, grab a copy of GoGi's 10 Signs which indicate you're a targeted individual. Available now on Amazon.com and the Targeted Justice Etsy shop. Don't let them silence you any longer. Take the first step towards understanding, empowerment, and freedom. Get your copy today and join the movement. GoGi Justice's book, A Voice for the Targeted Individuals.
All right. Don't forget to get your book. All right. I want to look at this bill that Gary Peters is recommending. It says committee passes. Okay, they passed the bill, Peters' bill to reform travel redress process and improve screening policy. So this was a little while ago, the end of the year, and it's from Washington, D.C., and it says legislation led by U.S. Senator Gary Peters to improve screening practices at airports and ports of entry that repeatedly affect individuals who pose no danger, that's us, to national security, and ensure counterterrorism resources are used effectively has advanced in the Senate. The bill will help evaluate a ballooning set of screening processes, some related to the terror watch list, by improving transparency about these processes and by requiring the Homeland Security Secretary to reform the redress process to allow affected Americans who are not a national security threat to seek an effective remedy. The bill was passed by the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, where Peters serves as chair, and now moves to the full Senate for consideration. Do you think they might need some input from us? Okay, so it's going to move to the full Senate for consideration. All right. Americans who pose no threat to national security should not face a maze of travel screenings and a flawed redress process, said Senator Peters. My legislation will bring more transparency and accountability to our travel screening practices to ensure that the government is effectively protecting the nation and agencies can carry out their missions while also protecting the civil rights and civil liberties of travelers. In December 2023, Chairman Peters published a report that revealed that well-intended screening practices at airports and other ports of entry have ballooned over time, often at the expense of travelers who pose no threat to national security. Members of the Arab, Muslim, and South Asian American communities report that they are unfairly targeted by these screening practices. However, federal agencies do not effectively assess whether discrimination occurs in these practices. These practices are intended to protect the U.S. from terrorists and other security threats, but these practices have expanded into a layered and duplicative screening system that is difficult for the government to explain and the American citizens to understand why they have been flagged for secondary screening or how they can seek real redress. The Enhanced Oversight and Accountability in Screening Act would require, that's the name of the act, so this is what we have to follow. the Enhanced Oversight and Accountability in Screening Act would require DHS to provide Congress with a plan to meaningfully reform the redress process and improve the experience of individuals who believe they have been wrongly subjected to additional screenings or have experienced delays in travel. The bill establishes a DHS screening and watch listing advisory committee comprised of both governmental and non-governmental representatives to advise the Secretary on the development, refinement, implementation, and evaluation of security processes. To enhance transparency, the bill also mandates the DHS to provide Congress with a report assessing with effectiveness of secondary screenings and inspections by the TSA, Transportation Security Administration, and U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP. Below are statements in support of the Senate's legislation. Okay, so most people responded positively, and we have to find out where this is now, where it stands, because it was put in, I believe, in 2024. So we're going to check on this act and our report. This is from September of 2024. So at the end of 24, this was the report, and we want to find out when it went to the next level, what happened and where it is, and if we have time to write something. So I'm going to write that down as homework assignment number 2, and we need to get in touch with them, because remember that the way they treat travelers has to do with handling codes 1 and 2, officially 1 and 2, because they're some of them can't travel or something, but they're on that list. 3 and 4, I am, for example, I can only speak of myself. I am always screened. Anything I have in my bag, if it's a baby powder, whatever, is tested, and I'm always held up at the screening. And they make sure, what they do is they make sure they break my stand display with my Dave case on it. Each time they continue to put it back, they just hold it under the X-ray thing and make sure that it's malfunctions. And so I'm usually now prepared for that. And they do all kinds of stuff. They steal my clothes if I have on a jacket that I like. They just do anything to detain me there. And I'm sure that you all have stories and reports. If I have paid for Global Entry, TSA pre-check, and I used to be TSA pre-check just ordinarily off the cuff. Now I can't pay enough to get on the list to just go on the pre-check line. I cannot get Global Entry or Clear, any of that. I pay for it, and it's like I paid for it and it didn't happen. So it's because of my name is on that list. So these things are really unfair to us, and we need to write and let them know so that they can put us in the equation. We want our name in the pot. We want all of us in the pot. All right. Okay, so that's what's happening with TSA, and that has a close relationship with the terrorist watch list. Okay? So we're going to pay attention to that. I'm going to find that act. And we have a little video about TSA and the FBI. Ready for you, Lady T.
What exactly can the government do to him, to any of us, whether we're on the watch list or not? As a journalist, my first hunch is to go straight to the source. Michael German is a former FBI agent who has experience with the terrorism watch list. What is the internal designation given to people who are on that watch list? Known or suspected terrorists. Do you need to be a known or suspected terrorist to be given that designation? No, you do not. There's plenty of evidence that people who are put on these lists were investigated for no reasons. And so you're building this expanding pool of suspects based on little or no real evidence. what are the most extreme things that can happen to you if you end up in that system?
There's so little transparency that we don't know all the ways that the watch list might be used. So from a deprivation of rights standpoint, there's a lot you could lose.
Let's say I'm an American citizen. I get taken into secondary screening. Surely I have Fourth Amendment protections, right?
Not at the border. Anything coming across the border could be contraband, and therefore the government has the right to search it without a warrant.
The agents that take me to secondary screening have the authority to read the contents of my emails or my text messages?
And not just read them, but put them in a database for other agents across the intelligence community to read them. All of that information can be collected when you cross the border.
So I think a lot of people are not aware of this. What you're saying then is that at least some of our constitutional protections don't exist when we're in a border crossing or an airport coming back from abroad.
Right. You might try going to the airport tomorrow and seeing how you do.
Yeah, that okay. So you want to go across the border and see how you'll do. But it's clear, it's very clear in this presentation that they know that innocent people are on the list. You don't have to be a real suspected terrorist to get on this TSDB. So that's a very important link for us to keep and put on some of the letters that we have. It's not like we're making it up. And so if we write a letter, if we pose a letter that says we believe we're in the terrorist screening database, that our name is there, that we're on the list, then we can certainly refer to this, keep this link in our letter, a hyperlink there, so they can click on it and hear this interview, that it's not just that it's preposterous and we're just thinking out of our head that this is where we are. It's evident that it happened, and then we can start citing some of the things. So I'm posing some letters and some templates to put on the website for you to have access to. All right. That was Ronan, and I think that was Spy in a Pocket. But I want to look for a minute at the Section 702. Everybody knows the good news that happened with Section 702. I hope you do, because it really is really good news. Let me just find it real quick. That the court decided in favor. Let me see. I don't remember seeing it though. One second. I don't remember seeing it here. All right. 1 minute, guys. Here we go. Nope, that's not it. Sorry. That the court decided in favor of the people that against the government, that they've been violating our constitutional rights with this warrantless surveillance. So I wanted to spend a little time to talk about that, how they surveil us illegally, and how we can prove it, because that the court is finally saying that yes, how FISA is being used is unconstitutional. Then we need to prove how we're being surveilled, hacked, and so forth, so that we can pull something together. And so I asked Diana to come on. She works in the legal field to talk a little bit about the kind of evidence that will have weight. We're going to do that next week. But as we talk, I'm going to ask her to chime in on some things that'll be in a few minutes. So I wanted to look at first the kinds of things that they do to surveil us, so we'll know the kind of evidence that we could possibly pull together. And we might need some IT specialists, people that are really good with technology, or maybe we don't. So I know one of the things that they talk about all the time that they use is the Stingray. So let's look at the Stingray for a minute. And then I want to talk a little bit about an interview that I'm doing. I want your input on. And then we have one or two other things, and then I'll open back up for Q&A. So, Lady T, we're going to do Stingray Part 1.
Today we're going to talk about stingrays. I'm actually going to use the term cell phone tower simulator. It's a much safer term for me to use. We're going to discuss what these devices are, who uses them, how they function, how they're deployed, what they can do once they are deployed, how you yourself can determine if one is operating in your area, as well as what you can do to protect yourself from them. Now, this is going to be a long video. I'm re-recording the audio here for God knows how many times. I'm going to try to include as much information as I can here. I ask that you be patient and watch this thing all the way through. By the time you're done, hopefully not only do you know more about this stuff than just about anybody you know, but you're pissed and you're willing to start to talk to others about this because this is a problem. So let me take 20 years of research experience, boil it down into plain English so that we can all better understand the risks that we face on a daily basis. Now, let's get into this topic. Again, cell phone tower simulators, and the first point is what they are. Now, I suppose the first thing that we need to do here is give you a visual reference of what it is that we're talking about. Some of this equipment is designed to be installed in a vehicle like a surveillance van or an SUV of some type. Maybe it's an airplane or a drone. A lot of this stuff can be located in fixed positions. So a building with an antenna nearby. Basically what the equipment needs is access to power, access to some sort of data, whether it's a high-speed data connection like the one that you have coming into your house, or the ability to communicate wirelessly with some sort of a data connection. But those things are required for it to function depending on how it's operating. It also needs some sort of a terminal, like a laptop computer, and whatever associated software to translate the data that the equipment is bringing in. That said, there's also smaller devices. So when the media refers to it as one specific device that's big and bulky, what they're concealing through obfuscation is things like this device that fits in a backpack, or this device that's handheld, so you could walk into maybe a Tea Party gathering or some sort of a labor protest or whatever, and gather information about the devices that are present. Or this device right here that allows the attacker to attack up to 60,000 phones at one time. Not exactly targeted surveillance in my mind. And when you keep in mind the fact that these can be located in fixed positions, you could sprinkle these around a community and monitor every single phone in town. We'll cover all of the things that are at least publicly known about this technology, because I'm really not interested in spending a lot of time here or meeting people like these guys. So I'm going to try to only discuss what is publicly known and put it into context so that we can all understand the threat. So now that you know what the things look like, let's talk about what they actually are and how they function. So what is a cell phone tower simulator? Just as the name implies, it functions like a legitimate cell phone tower. It communicates back and forth with your device on its normal communication channels, so as far as your device is concerned, it's on a legit cell phone tower. It works on all of these smart and dumb phones that are out in the market today, and no, I don't care how super cool or secure you think your phone is, it is susceptible to attack by these types of devices. I know that everyone likes to talk about the legal restrictions of the use of cell phone tower simulators, warrants, writs, court orders, trap and trace, pen registers, etc. But this technology is designed to work without having to attain legal authorization. It can be deployed without anyone knowing that it's being used. There's no paper trail that the system is being deployed, so there's no audit that can occur to find out whether it was used. You have to realize that before they used to have to go through the cellular service providers to gather information, but it was really messy and it left paper trails everywhere. With the release of this technology all the way down to your local community, now they don't have to worry about that. Now, this would be a concern to you and I if we had a system that was displaying a disdain for traditional legal limitations on power and authority. If we had organizations and agencies and individuals operating in secret, hiding behind non-disclosure agreements, lying to Congress, or just general corruption running rampant throughout the system. But since we know we don't have that happening here in the United States, we know that we don't have anything to worry about, right? That is until you realize that it's already been proven that for as little as $1,200 or less, just about anybody can build a device that has similar capabilities to this technology. The fact that backdoors exist in any of our technology means that not only can the quote-unquote good guys use it, but anybody who's aware that those backdoors exist can also use them. We are all operating under a very flawed trust model when it comes to technology. We are putting our faith and trust in corporations and technology where it should never have been placed to begin with, and it's been going on for so long that we've become apathetic to the risks, and it's really time to stop that. So let's go on and talk more about this technology, and I'll get off my soapbox. So let's talk about how these devices function. What's happening here is what the InfoSec community calls a man-in-the-middle attack. Just as the name implies, the attacker slips within range of your device and the network node that it's trying to communicate with, in this case a cell phone tower, and depending on its mode of operation, can interact with the data that's being sent to and from your device. It could be listening, it could be acting as a relay, and capturing all the information that's supposedly being sent directly to the cellular network. You have to keep in mind that your phones are slaves to the tower. So anytime your device is connected to any cell phone tower, whether it's legitimate or simulated, the tower dictates to the phone what's going to happen during that communication session, including shutting off session encryption. So now how are these devices deployed? So if you have an attacker that has a cell phone tower simulator, how is it that they can set this thing up so that your device will connect to it? Well, as we covered in Cell Phone Tracking Explained in Plain English Part 1, your phone checks in with the cell phone network towers on a regular basis. This is somewhere around every 3 to 7 seconds. Your phone is always trying to connect to numerous towers at the same time to ensure you quality of service. When a phone initially connects to a tower for the first time, it gathers information about the surrounding network. Things like what carriers are operating towers in the network, what channels your phone can use to communicate with the antennas on those towers. This information is temporarily stored on your phone, so if your device moves, loses signal, etc., it can quickly switch channels in order to maintain connectivity. It's also why when you travel, your phone may tell you that instead of using, say, AT&T, your phone is connected to Metro PCS. It all goes back to billing for roaming and things like that. So while this information has its legitimate uses, this information is also useful to an attacker who comes into an area and wants to configure their cell phone tower simulator to work more efficiently. They can query the towers themselves and get information about what cell phone towers are in the area, what frequencies or channels the antennas on those towers are operating on, what carriers your phone might be expecting to see in the area, and then using that information, they can configure their simulated cell phone tower. Now, since the phones are really slave to the tower, the towers send the phones all of the commands as related to their operations. So if you were running a simulated cell phone tower, you could tell the phone that you're the strongest cell phone tower in the area in order to trick it to get it to attempt to connect to your device. You can also shut off session encryption so that what would normally be protecting either shut it off or downgrade it to make it easier to crack. So what would normally protect the confidentiality of your communications is basically negated. So first we need to understand that these devices operate in one of two modes. One is a passive mode, and the best way I can describe passive to you is it's like the radio in your car. You can tune into different frequencies or channels, and you can hear information, but you can't interact with that information. All you can do is listen to it. When it comes to cellular technology or maybe encrypted information, you can listen to it, record it, and then de-encrypt it, but you're never really transmitting, so you're not giving away the fact that you're there. The other mode that these things operate in is an active mode, and an active mode is where the device is now acting as a relay. So instead of your traffic going directly to the cellular tower or being broadcast to the cellular tower where they could listen, they've now tricked your phone to directly connecting to them, and they're receiving all the information coming directly from your phone and then passing it on to either a wireless network or a directly connected high-speed internet network, so that everything that's coming off of your phone passes through their device, and they can capture and filter all of the information that's coming off of it. Now, what is that information? And what are the commands that they can send back to your phone when they're in active mode? What does that allow them to do? Okay, well, without putting these in any specific order, some of the information that can be captured on your device is something called an IMEI number. IMEI stands for International Mobile Station Equipment Identity. It's also known as the MEID, or Mobile Equipment Identifier. Now, this is the unique serial number of your specific phone, and using it, the person that's doing the attack can determine the make, model, and product variant. So maybe it's a Samsung Galaxy S6 or an iPhone 6 or an HTC One M9, whatever. But you can also determine the product variant, which tells them things like the device firmware that may be operating because of the chips that are installed on that specific phone. It's very specific down to your exact device. That's your phone's unique identifier on the network. You yourself can find this number. It's either going to be on a white sticker under the battery, or you can find it by bringing up your phone's keypad and hitting *#06#, or in modern vernacular, *#06#. But yeah, *#06# will bring up your phone's unique serial number. Now, something to keep in mind here is if you're a special person, maybe you work for an agency or a department, and you have a special phone that you think is secure, if it has a unique IMEI number that identifies it as a unique piece of hardware, that can actually help an attacker determine whether or not your device is worth looking at. So some of the same techniques and tools that you use to determine whether certain people are worth looking at can also be turned around and used on you. This technology is a dual-edged sword, so you need to keep that in mind. Today we're going to...
All right. So that is the beginning. That's the first part of it. And I really wanted us to hear it because it talks about how the police really, how anyone who has a stingray surveils us. And it pretends to be, the equipment pretends to be a cell tower, and they tap into it, and that's how they get our information. We know that's one of the ways. But the other way, by using Section 702, they can walk into these telecommunication places and request our records saying that we're on the domestic terrorist watch list. And so, someone behind the counter or even the manager, they don't know exactly what that means. They think that they're participating with, they're doing some kind of good justice to the government by, helping the United States stay secure because we're some kind of security threat, and they will give them all of our information. And so that is how 702 has been misused. And so it's so wonderful that they push back in this instance. I can't pronounce this guy's name. I think it's BASJRMI, something like that, or RAMI. And, the court judge ruled in his favor. I would like to read a little bit of it, but right now I want to talk about Project Archimedes, and I want to share a little bit about that. So let me find that. And, it's from our very own attorney, Todd Callender, and he is holding or putting forth a claim, a global action against 5G and inviting all of us to participate. So I'm going to interview him shortly, and I might invite, open it up to everyone if it's okay with him. We have one scheduled, and then I'm going to play it next week, that part of it, or I'll see if we can all participate. So let me just tell you a little bit about it, because if you are not able to attend, because it'll be in the daytime, if you're not able to attend, perhaps you will give me some questions that you would like answered. I know one question that I already received, and I believe everybody wants to know, is if we participate in this 5G lawsuit and for some reason it's dismissed, like a lot of lawsuits are, hopefully this one will not be, but will it preclude us from anything else as we move forward? Because we're going to move forward with cases. Okay, so this lawsuit is called the $1 trillion 5G lawsuit by attorney Todd Callender. And it says Attorney Todd Callender rejoins the program to discuss his landmark $1 trillion lawsuit against the federal government for the harm 5G is causing. That means we're going to have to prove harm, okay? He also explains what Project Archimedes is and how it aims at dismantling the ill effects of 5G and the psychological warfare that is ongoing against the American people. So I'm going to interview him this week and in preparation for the show next week. And if you have any questions about the lawsuit, all I know that it is global and that is $10 to participate, and that he's going to fight against dismantling these towers. And so when we talk about, the reason I wanted to talk about it tonight is because we're talking about the program and all the different ways to stop it. Trump is in place. He's putting his people in place. They're well aware of the program. Many of them have been personally attacked and personally damaged by the targeted individual program, because it's no respecter of what level you are, what position you're in. It could be the President of the United States. It could be an entertainer, a celebrity. It could be an everyday person. It's anybody. So they're well aware of the program and are pushing back, fighting, exposing it, and destroying it. And in the meantime, we've discussed ways that we can shield and things we can do, and we've discussed ways we can shield. We have actionable things to do, which I'll summarize at the end. And we are looking at the things that are put in place, the legislation, the bills, all the investigations and the discoveries and what they're doing about it that are being put in place right now that will help us as TIs. And even if we don't feel it tonight or tomorrow night, we know it's being done. So it's definitely better than those who 10 years ago was just finding out what was going on, and they had nobody and nothing. They had no one to stand up for them. There was very few people, and we did examine those who had lawsuits that won, and we can look at James Walbert again, because he talks about the scans. He talked about, getting implants out, which was significant for his win. And he also had a congressional letter from Jim Guest. So there was a lot of things that we when you want to win something, you want to do something, then you look at what was already done. So we've been studying this on the J.A.M. We've been studying him. We studied Catherine Horton. So we want to continue to keep these things in mind as we move forward, so we'll be in a place to win. I hope that you're following along and getting the evidence that you need to prevail. All right. So that was Project Archimedes. I'm going to hold back on playing the second part of the Stingrays video, but for the sake of time, although I must say he does give some solutions as what we can do to prevent the hacking. And so we do want to share that, so I'll be sharing that next week. I want to move right now to our guest, I hope I'm not skipping anything. I know Constance is here. Connie Love has some tips. We spent so much time with tips earlier. And Sir Dan has something as well. So first I'm going to introduce our speaker, and then I'm going to come back. Sir Dan is going to talk a little bit about what Biden said, the Biden administration said about AHI. All right, so we want to go first. I want to introduce MAP Newscaster. MAP, are you there? Uh-oh. Tranquility, is G.I. Jane in the house?
Yes, she is.
Okay. Is MAP Newscaster?
They need to unmute. They're self-muted right now.
Okay. All right.
So star 6 if you hear us. There you go.
Yes, we're both here. Yep, we're ready to go.
Thank you. All right, great. So first, MAP, are you around? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So MAP Newscaster, everybody, welcome to the show. Thank you both. Thank you, J.I. Jane. And MAP is here he's an influencer, a big influencer in the social media community. He's an avid researcher of all of this information. And I want you to hear this next article that I'm going to present, and I'd like your feedback on it. And then I know that you found something that would be very helpful to us, possibly. So we want to talk about that a little bit, and then we're going to get into a few more presentations that we have, and we don't want to be too late tonight. So I'm going to first read this article that I found interesting, and I know that this is the kind of thing I've heard you mention this quite a few times. So I wanted you here while we talk about the Internet of Bio-Nano Things. Okay, so I had heard about the Internet of Things, the Internet of different things, but not the Internet of Bio-Nano Things. So let me get to it. So this is called Project IOBNT, and the duration is from January 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2026, and it's a research. So it says the majority of current wireless communication systems are based on radio frequency RF radio waves. Although perfectly suited for many telecommunications tasks, nano or microscale communicating nodes, example, interacting with biological cells in the human body and or operating in difficult environments, example, liquids, must rely on alternative communication paradigms and technologies. Examples of applications including communicating nanorobots, example, mobile nano devices that patrol human blood vessels for medical purposes, airborne molecular communication and sensing systems, and macro-level communications in industrial plants and pipeline networks containing water, oil, or gases. Communication in such environments can occur through the use of nano-sized particles as information carriers, including magnetic nanoparticles and biochemical molecules that can be detected by biological, chemical, and physical means. The corresponding novel communications paradigm called molecular communications, or MK, is intended to complement traditional RF telecommunications networks and eventually become an integral part of 6G plus solutions, enabling revolutionary new services. In this project, we will develop and investigate concepts for an Internet of Bio-Nano Things, IOBNT system. Individualized medicine and microscale industrial applications are considered as example applications. The IOBNT is tailored to enable the monitoring and triggering of infections through a communication platform between nanodevices in the human body and with external gateways. In this way, the IOBNT will support the transfer of data and control information between nanodevices and external computers. To realize in IOBNT, both RF and MK communication schemes are used and include the following components. Okay, it's a little technical here. MK systems, gateway nodes, and an RF subsystem to enable end-to-end communication between nanodevices with electronics and highly miniaturized biosensors, which are located in the body, and external control monitoring units in the context of 6G networks, 6G plus networks. That's the end. Okay, that's a mouthful. So it's very technical. And Matt, what do you think? Can you break it down in layman's terms? Do you get what they're saying?
Yeah, I understand what they're saying. So basically, I want to start by saying I'm glad that you did bring that up because I've been really trying to push that on the page. I know everybody heard about the directed energy weapons being talked about and used on people on January 6th. And I wanted to separate the two between they both have the same consequence, but they both have the same outcome and consequence when used nefariously, right? But one's an actual directed energy weapon. We have to remember that this system is a culture. So electromagnetic energy and frequencies has become a culture. And they've made deliberate weapon systems out of it. And then they made medical, quote-unquote, medical purposes out of it. But the issue is if you know better, you know the medical industrial complex and the military industrial complex go hand in hand because our medical actually comes from our military, believe it or not. So it's basically saying here's your hell and here's your heaven. And you have deliberate boxes that shoot out direct energy weapons, and then you have the Internet of Nano Things or Internet of Things. That's what I leave it in bold as, because first it's the IoT, because without the IoT there isn't any anything at all. It has to be the IoT first, and this is what I was trying to tell people, that this is the true way that Havana Syndrome is being orchestrated nefariously. It's through a wireless body area network of Internet of Things. And the only way, somewhere along the way when you got into this program, you were poisoned with biotechnology, nanotechnology, which is graphene oxide. And, one of the ways to debunk anybody saying that it's like a conspiracy, you can go down to the Houston Natural Science Museum downtown in Houston, where they have a whole display talking about graphene oxide, which is they call great graphene, which is Internet of Nano Things. And they have a whole video display. Actually, it's on my page, a whole video display displaying how once you ingest this technology, it crosses your blood-brain barrier and attaches itself onto your neurons, integrates itself into your cells, your blood cells, integrates itself into your muscle tissue. So it's a culture, and it's basically a diaphragm of Internet of Things, Internet of military things, Internet of nano things, through an intra-body networking system that basically uses the electricity that your body produces in order to keep these things charged completely, which is energy harvesting. Your body charges this nanotechnology. They designed it in that manner. And if you pay close attention, they talked about how it would be very similar to the RF communication between cell towers and cell phones. Pay very close attention to that because they actually mean that. It is the same. So any technology that you come in contact with will deliberately be able to ricochet and bounce and hit you. They could take, and that's what they call a cloud. So in the Internet of Things, there's a cloud, and your body will be on there, and they can use the Internet of Things to attach your TV to your body. When you turn on your TV, it turns on that area, that specific area of that Internet of Bionano Things in that specific location of where the organ is. That's why when you turn on your AC unit, you may feel more electromagnetic pulsated attacks towards a deliberative area in your body. It's fixated on that area because the person who's an electrical computer engineer, these are the people who are experts on doing the maneuvering behind the computer, right? When they talk about being able to use a computer, I tell people that all the time. In the Internet of Things, the main culprit is a computer. Everything starts with a quantum computer first, or a gaming computer, because it can process the ones and O's and convert it over to a parallel reality. Basically get a faster update and a real-time update and be able to solve things at a faster pace this computer can. So, rebuttaling off that stingray, that's why that's really not needed. That's like old riddance. They're doing direct satellite communication to intra-body networks. That's what 6G is. If you ever get the time, go look up 6G. It's a direct communication from a satellite that goes straight to your phone. No more 5G towers. So they don't need to use the 5G towers. I think they actually even know it's going to become an issue to where they're going to have to take them down. This is why they built the satellite. So it's the direct satellite communication to intra-body networks that harvests the Internet of Bodies through the Internet of Bionano Things that is constructed by the Internet of Things.
Okay. Well, I got some of that, I'm sure, and I'm thinking everybody might have got a piece of that. But you know what? My plan is to really have a session with thinkers, with this kind of technical thinking, and to host it not necessarily during the J.A.M, but on an off day, and then we can just really chew away at it, because I think it's important that we understand, because once we understand, we'll know what to do about it. And as we are coming to understand exactly how they pose these weapons against us, we're also finding ways to shield or to stop it. So one of the things that you found today in your research with Purdue University or recently, I would love for you to share that with everyone, because it was just, I love it. So please share about Purdue University, Matt.
Okay, well, first and foremost, there's a lot of TI factual things going on in Lafayette, Indiana right now at Purdue University and around the military base. Well, they seem like they go hand in hand. So Purdue was doing a study where they're working on the intra-body networking system, the Internet of Bodies, and he was saying that they were I'm sorry, I don't have the professor's exact name at the moment. I can look it up. My internet is actually being hacked. I know you guys can understand about that. My phone is actually being hacked because I'm discovering all of this and researching it. But most importantly, it's about understanding it. But this professor, if you go on my page, it's Map Newscast on Instagram, you'll be able to find it. It'll say Purdue, and it'll have the Internet of Bodies on there. This is Purdue University. They're talking about how they have excelled at an accelerated pace with being able to operate the Internet of Bionano Things in the human body with external devices. But he said the problem is there's a signal radiating out of your body within, I want to say, up to 10 meters, where someone could come just sit next to you and you would never even notice it, and they're logging into you. A nefarious hacker will be able to literally log into your, let's say, like a Wi-Fi code and get access to your Wi-Fi code or your internet or your IP address, basically your walking IP address. They would be able to get access to your IP address, which is your human body, and which is the Internet of Bodies, and they would be able to literally harm you with an electromagnetic pulse. That same communication that your phone receives will now be received towards your organs. And he was concerned about that. As a matter of fact, he took an IEE article during his study and attached it, and he was talking about Dick Cheney back in 2007 when Dick Cheney had a pacemaker hooked up to his heart. Now, these are the beginning stages of what a wireless body area network is. He had a pacemaker to his heart, and that's an Internet of Bodies technology. And he told them, he called his doctor and he said, immediately, I want it off. I need to take it off. They said he was frantic about it. He wanted it off immediately. He was adamant about it. He said someone foreign could send a nefarious signal to my pacemaker and hack it and electrocute my heart to deliver lethal electromagnetic pulse blows. That's verbatim what it says. This is a Purdue study. And he said they could deliver a shock to my heart, lethal shocks to my heart. I want the pacemaker out. Now the issue is with that is, imagine if you have graphene oxide flowing throughout your body. There's nothing you can't just take that out like a pacemaker. So people come around you and can literally, through its access portal to the Department of Homeland Security, could just come sit next to you, have already legitimate access to your wireless body area network, and deliver cell tower or phone-to-phone communication blows, or external device to organ blows through your graphene oxide that sits in your body and responds and is a semiconductor to electromagnetic frequencies. So this is a better way to understand how you're being assaulted, and it can come from all different ways. But that study was talking about, he was so worried about that, and he was like, Dick Cheney was, extremely worried about it. He got the pacemaker removed. So he came up with this, it looks like a watch. It's not a watch, but it looks like a watch, where he applies these wires inside of like a plastic foil cylinder, but then the cylinder sits on top of the watch, like the face of a watch, and you wear it on your wrist. And he said when you wear it on your wrist, it's a video actually being demonstrated. You can go to Purdue University and watch it. He proves that the body is emitting a frequency and signals and electrical signals in the human body. So he said when he's attaching these outside wireless body area network devices to the body, he wants to be able to make sure that signal doesn't radiate outside of the body. So he attached that watch that he built, the item that looks like a watch, and he put it on his wrist, put it on the person who was being experimented on his wrist, and the signal did not leave the body. They couldn't trace any signal coming out of the body, even though the person was still getting signal and being able to operate with their wireless body area network technology. So they proved that they could couple the signal inside of the human body, and the Wi-Fi would run inside. So this is like putting a firewall on your Wi-Fi so no one can get in your Wi-Fi. So now you have a double.
Go ahead. You have a double. Go ahead. I want to get you right after that. Go ahead.
You basically have a double passcode to your Wi-Fi. So even if they figured out the first one, they couldn't get inside the next one because they would literally have to be inside of your network. So this is like a private military network, but only your body is harvesting it, so they wouldn't be able to get inside your body. He took a antenna and he stuck it on the human skin, and it wouldn't send back a signal.
Woo! I just love it. Oh my God! And so because that's like saying that we can't be attacked. Our body would be like insulated, basically.
It is like wearing a VPN that works 100%.
I love it. Oh my God! So I don't know where they are with this study, but it goes to the point. The message tonight's message, which is there's more than one way to skin a cat. This program is coming down one way or the other. We got Trump in place. We got all these, shielding and solutions that we have, and with this, I mean, that is just phenomenal right there. That is just phenomenal. So I hope, I think that we should add, when your internet is back up and everything, that we should add this to our list so that we can make sure that we reach out to this professor. And I don't know if the device is available, but yeah.
He definitely.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he definitely finished it because he wore the product. It looks very cheap and easy to make. I just wanted to say this: the fact that he was extremely concerned let me know that he was well aware of these what we go through. Because now that they're getting ready to roll out this new century of this wireless body area network, the internet. They're getting ready to use everyone, get rid of phones, and you operate the network through yourself. But everybody, no one wants to, wear the new or have the new innovative Internet of bio nano things inside of their body if they figure they could be hacked. So now they're trying to accommodate for what they've seen us go through so they can be protected. So I think that they're very worried about, being put in that position because this is coming to an end and it's going to be exploited to everybody. So this technology, the jig is up. It's not going to be a secret anymore. They're going to come out with it so they can push forward, with technology. And this is why they're trying to get down to the bottom of how to couple and hide your own signal from people so you can have your own privacy.
I love it. And this is also, I don't know if you were on the call last week, Matt, but we had an article about them doing that exact thing with the phone. There's a phone that's created, that's coming out, where you will be able to tell if you're being hacked, and you could tell if someone is hacking you. So and I think it's a satellite phone, and it's on the market. It's not on the market yet. It's going to start in Europe or something like that, but it's happening. So we could tell. There's so many signs that let us know that this is coming to an end. I thank you for joining the call. I want you to stay on because there might be some questions, and that definitely I can't answer. So definitely some questions for you, and we certainly want to hear about the watch. We want to talk a little bit more about it, or know more about the study when you can access it. And if anybody can look it up, then that would be great. I do want to acknowledge I do have to move to a few things because I see how late it's getting, and I'm sorry that we got on so late, but at the beginning people really started talking about things that were so helpful. I didn't want to cut us off, but so I understand if anyone has to leave because we do want you to make it to work tomorrow with both eyes open, okay? But I wanted to spend some time with J.A.M and Tori. And I would say that, at the beginning when we started the J.A.M, we always had homework. We had notes after the J.A.M. Actually I started taking up a little space or a lot of space on TI events. And we had after the J.A.M notes, we had this, we had that, and and then we had more and more moderators. So I had to move my things. I had to, do something. I didn't know exactly what to do, but J.A.M did. And so without me nudging or anything, she presented this to me, and I receive it as a gift, and I'm ever so grateful. And I mean ever so grateful. And so, J.A.M, I'd like you to share, your vision or what you thought, what you think and see happening. And then I would like Tori to share some of the things that we put in place. And then I'll come back and talk about that for a minute. And then we're going to try to wrap it up so that everybody can, so it won't be so late. It's already so late. All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Gaji. Hi, everybody. Good evening. Like you stated, we took a lot of space on the TI events page. And, Gaji's J.A.M, we kept growing and evolving, and our community finding one another. I thought, what better place to create a home for Gaji's J.A.M, a one-stop shop, right? A place where not only we go for resources, templates, community, events, right, like the initiatives, what's next, etc. By career, I am a technical project manager, so my brain works that way. And I figured, it's Gaji, so I wanted to present you with a gift that will keep on giving, especially to our community. So that's really where this idea of creating GoGi'sJam.com came from. And it's still pretty much in the early stages. I'm so grateful to have Tori alongside, who's now going to help us take it to the next level. So as of right now, we have a couple pages. You'll see there's a merch page, which I will encourage you all to continue to check on it every single day. We'll have T-shirts, sweatshirts, beanies, you name it, sweatpants, T-shirts. And as the seasons change, obviously we'll have new stuff to add. We also have some cool initiatives. As you know, GoGi's J.A.M, we're actionable, right? We're solution-based. So you'll find all the details to really educate yourself on what's to come and what to do. And you'll find there will be a template page as well where you'll have all the FOIA and the foils and the FAA letters, like the medical letters. There's a page for, of course, the team and a gallery. So when we do meet, we'll have our meet and greets. You'll see that we'll start collecting all those pictures and add to the gallery. I can't think of offhand what page is my favorite just now, but it's really exciting to see our community really coming together. And honestly, without this call, I would feel still very much stuck. So I'm so grateful to have you, GoGi, and to provide a one-stop shop for the community. And that's GoGi'sJam.com. I hope you guys do enjoy it, and if you have suggestions, I'm always open. Just send them over to GoGi, and Tori and I and GoGi will definitely, add to the website.
Thank you so much, G.I. Jane. Thank you for your ingenuity and your initiative. So grateful to have you part of the team. All right, and thank you. Tori, did you want to add anything? And then I want to talk a little bit about, because I know G.I. Jane is hosting a scanning clinic this weekend, and you still have a few slots open before I say it. Jane?
Yes, I do. I do.
Okay. All right. So then this weekend, more evidence gathering. Jesse Beltran will be in the Texas area. If you're available and you would like to scan, send an email to Ms. G.I. Jane. Can you say your website? Your email address? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's MSGI at proton.me. That's Miss G.I. Jane at proton.me.
Yeah. So, and they're hosting a scanning clinic, which we just did in D.C., and I'll let Tori speak a little bit about that. But so you will get the RF scan that we're talking about so that you can see what frequencies are hitting your body. And it's very important evidence to have in the court. And it's very important evidence not only to have in the court, and he is an expert witness that would appear, because some won't. Some are expert witness, but will send a report, but will not appear. He will, and furthermore, it will. Oh God, I'm sorry, Havana. All right, Tori, you go ahead. I'll talk a little bit about it later. Tori, you go ahead. I'm thinking about the time, guys. Go ahead, Tori.
Hey everyone. I'm assisting GoGi and Sarah, and I can tell you a lot of you probably feel the same, but GoGi's call is very logical. It really is the call that updates us about the community and what's going on. So it kind of made sense what Sarah did, giving her a gift such as a website. And then now it'll be like Sarah said, a one-stop shop of solutions. So, for example, regarding Jesse Beltran, there will be a little write-up there about him. And then, of course, there will be a link so that you can go directly to a site. But I said that was a good idea because it will give you an idea of what's going on, like a summary, as opposed to maybe just going straight to the site and maybe being overwhelmed. But I'm so happy to be doing this because we may not have started off strong, but we can finish strong. GoGi is exposing more of this. I think a lot of people listen to the call. People are aware of this happening, but they don't say anything. But the good news is, just because someone's quiet doesn't mean we're not reaching them and impacting them. And I believe that higher ups actually know. I'm just waiting for some sort of whistleblower this year maybe to come out. Who knows? Maybe a whistleblower will contact Gaji and say, hey, I want to come on the show. I have something to say. Who knows? Sorry for rambling, but no, I am genuinely happy to be helping out with this. And seriously, it's going to be the place to come for solutions. And, you know, building your evidence is something you need to do. Listening to updates, talking with others, getting support, all of that, you'll be able to do all of that by just going to GoGi'sJam.com. It'll continually be updated, you know what I mean? So it's not going to be a stale website or a website that's just too busy and overwhelming that you can't make sense of things. You know, some organizations are, you know, the wind has been knocked out of their sails. But in this instance, we're moving ahead, and I am happy to be involved with this. The scanning process went great. We were kind of like, if I'm not mistaken, Jesse's first clinic-style group since he's been back, and it went well. We all did our part, and we met people. You get meet other TIs, but I just want to encourage you, get your scans, because really, look at all they've done to us all these years, and you know, we're not going to be able to get much from all those different harms, the breaking into your home or apartment, your slander at your job, and all of that. But get your scans, because that's something tangible that's going on. I have a lot to say about this, but I can't in this small amount of time without being annoying. But get your scans, because something else is going on here. We've been distracted, and now we know this is just a large experiment. No one is a threat here. So I think I've said everything I wanted to say. I'm sorry, my ADHD autism is not kicking in. It's always there. So anyway, I'll yield back. Thank you.
Thank you, Tori. Thank you. Good job, G.I. Jane, and thank you as always, Map News. So we're trying to fit everything in. I'm going to ask Sir Dan to just share what the Biden administration said on their way going out. Just before leaving, they wanted to explain what they've done but really haven't done with AHI. And, you know, I always like to keep Havana Syndrome in there, because that's going to be very significant for each and every one of us. If you've been targeted, you're being assaulted, most likely you're dealing with Havana Syndrome. Please, Sir Dan, are you there?
Yes. Thank you, Gaji. Okay, they said, we will be briefing the incoming administration on the full scope of ongoing work that should continue, as well as additional areas of focus recommended by the Intelligence Community Experts Panel, which found that a subset of anomalous health incidents cannot be easily explained by known environmental or medical conditions, and that pulsed electromagnetic or acoustic energy remains a plausible explanation in certain cases, he continued. As with other health challenges faced by U.S. personnel that took years to diagnose, sustained clinical, research, and investigative work is necessary to clarify what caused the symptoms our colleagues have reported, develop effective medical interventions, and prevent future incidents. Savitt added, our brave colleagues and their families who suffered real and sometimes serious injuries deserve no less. And that's what they had to say.
Thank you so much. Unbelievable. Yeah, they deserve no less. They, you know, under that administration, unfortunately, not much was done. So the people are still facing demotions, ridicule at work, not being able to find insurance code for the service, the treatments that they get, and, you know, and so forth. So it's still evolving, and our goal is to make sure that we are recognized, that they understand that it's more than just the diplomats. And as we were saying tonight, the focus is often on someone else, but we have the same issues, and we must raise our voices. I'm going to please encourage all of you to come out, to go on February 6th to your capital, to get some people in your area and go to your capital and deliver a letter. Go to the elected officials, deliver a letter. We'll provide you with letters. We'll work with other organizations to get letters. We're going to get letters, and we would hope that you will help us to deliver these letters. Quite a few people did sign up, but it's like different state, a number in different states. Major P, are you there to say the states that we have representation and things that we need to do? Because I wanted to spend some more time with this, but I see I can't do it today.
I'm here.
Okay. Can you tell the? All right, go ahead.
All right. We have as of a couple of days ago, we had a total of 38 people who have signed up. And unfortunately, there's one in Michigan, one in Connecticut, one in Nebraska, 4 in California, 4 in Ohio, 3 in New York, 2 in New Mexico, 3 in D.C., 1 in Tennessee, 3 in North Carolina, 3 in Georgia, 2 in Indiana, 1 in Rhode Island, 1 in Texas, 1 in Missouri, 1 in Illinois, 1 in Oregon, 1 in South Carolina, 1 in Utah, 1 in Wisconsin, and 1 in Oregon.
Mm-hmm. And with that kind of those scattered numbers, guys, we need, please go to GoGi'sJam.com, and I think it's also on TIEvents.org. It'll lead you to the same place. It's no fee. Just register so that we can get in touch with you, hold a meeting, and try to get as many states involved as possible. We need to raise our voices. We need to raise our voices. I mean, we were focused so much on D.C. and the inauguration, and it was actually wonderful. And I see how the powers at that time that be, as Trump was coming in, had it so that when we drove into D.C., we had tickets to the swearing in, and then we found out that because of the snowstorm, quote unquote, the geoengineered snowstorm, you could only go and watch it you would watch it from a different room. You couldn't go into the rotunda or to the big, where they were going to have it on the big mall outside or anything like that. We would have been separated, so we decided to watch it, from where we were. And but later we rode into D.C., and it was like a ghost town. We didn't go to Capital One Arena, but we went near the White House and the memorials, and they got their wish. It was like the town was closed down because of the snow, and it wasn't a lot of snow, but it was very cold. So, but it was worth going. We enjoyed ourselves. The scanning. I mean, we met new friends, and people were happy with what they discovered, and just the process. The team that does it is just phenomenal. They're just a wonderful group of people. Very friendly, very accommodating. So I encourage you to take that step. And there's some other things coming up. I think Kingston is going to be in the Pennsylvania area. If you're interested in any of the evidence gathering, please just email me at thejusticeactionmeeting@proton.me. And this weekend in Houston, again near Houston, will be a scanning for G.I. Jane, MS.G.I. Jane at proton.me. So we want to continue offering solutions, and I love what we mentioned earlier. Hopefully we'll create a page or a menu item, Tori, where we can have the Friends of the J.A.M., just people, everyday people with the solutions like the ones we had tonight, the Moo, Metal, the Organite, and I want to say black tourmaline, and the multimeters, and all of those to put there, just common solutions that we believe work. And people will pick up and use them or not use them. So, all right, and we have a lot of J.A.M. homework, so please, let's do our J.A.M. homework. I'll put that up on the website, so check in with that. And Constance, Connie Love, do you have something quick that you could share, a quick tip? I hate to rush you, or else I'll have to let it wait until next week. Are you there?
I do. So
okay.
This is going to be real quick. Okay, so we look at borax. We look at borax as really good to wash our clothes with, with a mixture of a couple other things. In my opinion, I can't say all of them tonight. Also, borax in the bathtub. But there are 20 other ways to use borax to clean our pores out. I don't have time to mention them all right now, but we use it in cars, furniture, floors, multiple things that we can use them on our mattress, our frames, our box springs. But I have to come back with all of those other solutions. But just keep in mind, borax also gets rid of roaches. Okay, thank you, Gaji, so much.
Thank you so much for that. And I mean, I know that it's Look Out for Charlie talks about using it. The only thing that we should use on our laundry. So we're going to get rid of this nanotechnology. Okay, guys? Let's just make it a goal. We're going to get rid of this nanotechnology one way or another, and we can do it. Let's not think that, that we just can't do it. And let's not think with a defeated attitude. We're going to do our part. We expect Trump to do his part, and God's got us. That's it. All right, so we're going to open up the Q&A, and then we're going to get out of here because I see people going to work hungover, like, with sleepy eyes and stuff. If you need coffee, take some coffee in the morning. All right, let's go. Let's open up for a minute. Thank you, everybody. You guys are so great. Well, I'm not open up. Q&A. Anybody in line for questions? Tranquility.
Hi, area code 224. You're up first.
Thank you.
That is me. Gaji's email is justiceactionsmeeting@protonme.com. I have a message about Michael. What's his last name? He said something bad about. No. The one who has the call on every night. What's his name? Michael.
Oh, Michael Carson?
Yeah, he's the one. He said something bad about, he said all the moderators, especially Derek and Targeted Justice, are perps. He has a mental problem, I think, about perps. And I'm going to email something regarding, and her email is targeted at meetings@protonme, right?
No. Okay. My email is the Justice Action Meeting. So remember, J.A.M., the Justice Action Meeting @proton.me. The Justice Action Meeting.
I got it. Thank you. Thank you, Gaji. Thank you very much.
Right.
Your program
is
wonderful. So,
thank you.
Thank you. That's
I appreciate that. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. All right. Next caller, please.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes.
Yes. This is Liliana. I wanted to say Hi. I wanted to say that about the stingrays. They're being constantly used by fusion centers and police, and that the New York Civil Liberties Union has done a report about the illegal use of stingrays all over the state of New York, and referring to abuse by law enforcement, abuse by government people. Of that. And the other thing I wanted to say about technology that you discussed is that President Trump, because he believes in military prowess and development, he says he's going to soon get 6G all over the country, for the United States. And it sounds that it's a weapon, the 6G. So we should write to him about the deployment of 6G all over the United States.
Okay, I had heard, and I'm not sure. I am certainly not going to say I'm the tech savvy person, but that 6G is better than 5G. It's safer than 5G. That's what I heard. Now I know all of these things can be safe if used properly and if it's in the right hands. But I think that we need to explore that. We need to get some people to explore that. So we'll do that, but we can certainly write about it.
Like for instance, Richard Lighthouse was and Anna were Toledo, and also Betty Dugia were saying that that the problem with 5G is that they have the Ericsson type microchip inside of the cell towers, and that microchip weaponizes them. So they're going to put 6G panels in the cell towers that have 5G. They have to make sure that they take away the Ericsson microchip that weaponizes these cell towers.
Okay. All right, so we can put that as a question. Now, let me see. When they roll it out, I guess it should be to Congress that we ask or request that it's not weaponized, basically, and that the Ericsson microchip is removed.
Yeah, it's not the only brand of microchip to weaponize cell towers that is being used in the United States. There are other brands too, but it's the Ericsson type of microchip that is inserted in the cell towers, because the Ericsson one was among the first ones used in the United States to weaponize these cell towers. But I was doing some research, and I saw that there are other 4 brands that could have installed their microchip in the cell tower of my county, that it has weaponized it. So we have to mention Ericsson type microchips that weaponize cell towers.
Okay. You sound a little weak, Liliana. Maybe a nice cup of tea with
it's that I have a bad signal tonight, but I think it's going to improve, in the next few days. I have a bad signal.
Okay. A bad signal. Okay. All right. Thank you. Well, thank you for joining the J.A.M. As usual. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So I think, as Matt was saying, it could be they use this, they use that, they use all of these techniques to get us, right? But I think the main thing is we want this to be, first of all, I was reading that there's no penalty. It's not even considered a crime to have these direct energy weapons. We have to criminalize it. We have to criminalize the weaponization of the cell towers, the whole thing, the experimentation. That we know is a crime, but it just needs to be looked at and dealt with. And if we band together and work together, we can get it done. We have the attention that we need right now. We have the people in place, or we will by the end of this month. So, they say strike when the iron is hot. Major P read the names people have signed up, but it's so scattered. We really want to look at the ones who are together that can make a move. I know New York, that whole New York area can go and be like 15, 20 deep in a heartbeat. You know, what other states can we send out there? So that's the kind of thing we want to look at. And we're going to make some phone calls. Please send some emails to Justice Action Meeting at proton.me because we're going to be working this week on getting that done. All right, next caller. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Nicole. Thanks so much for all this information. I have a question regarding EMS and radiation. I have really high numbers of radiation in my car, unfortunately, and EMS in my home.
Mhm.
I was wondering if
you're saying
regarding. Yeah, I heard about some of the organite, and I have all of those.
Yeah, I'm thinking this. There's some things that I purchased in my car, even really thick mylar, and just put it in there. Put sheets of it in the trunk, in your back seat. Break up that stuff in your car, and certainly the things that we've learned here tonight. She was saying to take a block of the mu metal and put it in each room, so you can put some in your car. I think that's a great idea, and in your house to break it up, and it diverts it. So even if you just make a little panel, and whatever room you're in, that's where it's at. Yeah. Unfortunately, we go through this. It's amazing how we continue to survive, but we do. And let's just keep going, because we have people, we have a God, number one, and we have people here that are working to end this and expose this program. And they will. Okay, I hope that's helpful, ma'am. All right, next caller, please. Tranquility.
Hi. Is that for me?
Hi.
I hope you're. Hi.
Yes,
this
it
is
is.
me again, Godji, Margaret. I was
Hi,
so
Margaret.
excited that. Hi. I'm so excited that Liliana got on the call, and I want her to have my email address, if that's okay, because I'm going to Dr. Tachinko in May, and she's going to let me stay with her. And I wanted to get an email to her.
Okay.
I don't care about putting it out here. I don't have anything personal going to this email. It's called Maggie May 19, MAGGIE MAE 19 at proton.me.
Okay. And I have it for you, Liliana, if you didn't get it. Maggie May 19. That's beautiful. Got it, ma'am.
Okay, what I wanted to tell you, Godji, is if you need me to do anything for your efforts, I'm certainly available.
Woo! Thank you. What state are you in again?
Georgia. I've gone to Washington on our behalf 3 times, and COVID kept us from going the 4th time.
Mhm.
So
okay, I'll be sending you. I'm going to email you at that email.
Okay, that's what it's for. There's nothing personal on that, so it's all about our targeting. That's an email for that. So thank you.
Right on.
Thank you for having me tonight.
Thank you for joining in. Thank you for your support and your input. Thank you. Okay. All right. Next caller, please.
Hi. My name's Jeremy Rye. I'm in American Canyon, California. This is my first time joining a meeting like this.
Hi, Jeremy.
Hi. A lot has happened. I need more, like a whole lot more time to tell you everything that happened, and it's been a wild ride, and I mean really, really bad, and it's kind of like mellowed out, and it's for real. Like things have happened, like just so many things, but I came up with, I was looking around, like I think like some people know that who put them on a watch list or something like that. It could be a neighbor or something, and that's my situation. I'm sure you've heard of polygraphs and stuff before. They're not very, very accurate. And that, but there's a new thing out. It's an eye detector test that tells if you're lying or not. It's 86% positive, and with the polygraph, it's 99. So if you suspect somebody of doing something like that, you could have them take that test, or yourself, to prove that you're not delusional. And like if somebody said you are delusional, then how did you get that way? You know what I mean? It's right. Look into it. It's a real thing. And if there's a politician or something, then you could have them take that test. I haven't heard of anybody doing this. Just it's something to look into. It'll cut it short. You know. Yeah. Just throwing it out there.
Thank you, Jeremy.
There's a couple of people that do that, so it's real.
I understand. Yes, it is absolutely real. We know what you're experiencing is real, and
but I have to prove it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's hard to prove these days, but I can do it with this new lie detection test. It's not a polygraph. It's much newer, and most people haven't even heard about it.
Well,
that's it. I can't think of anything better than that.
Well, yeah, I understand what you're saying. You're trying to prove what they're doing to you, and the thing is that the people that you're trying to prove it to, most of the time they already know. The way the system has worked is that it's in their favor. So even if you
I understand that, but you come at. I'm sorry to cut you off, but you tell them, hey, can you take the test? If they say no, then you look guilty. Just take the test. It's 86% positive, and with a polygraph, it's 99. If that's it, case closed.
Okay. All right. Well, let us know. Come back and let me know how that works for you.
It's look online. It's a real thing. Thanks you guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Love you.
See you next week. Thank you for joining the J.A.M. All right. Next caller, please.
Hi, this is Dana in Detroit again, and I just wanted to say a few quick things that people should be aware of, and most of us are already aware of them. When you go to a website, it'll say, keep me signed in. Make sure you uncheck it. Everything that you want to, check on a website, most websites, they'll make you, if you want to buy something, they'll make you download the app to buy something. And also, well, before I go to the doctor, they'll send me an email that says check in online. I refuse to check in online now. I got rid of my chart because they make you sign those papers, make you sign that online without, if you read it. And it's some things that you may want to cross off before signing. So I go in and I have them printed out and cross off what I don't want to sign and initial it before I sign it. So I just wanted to make everyone aware of that.
Thank you. This is Dana?
Yes, in Detroit.
Thank you, Dana. That very, very good tips. Absolutely. Before you sign, read that stuff. I mean, it might be fine print and a whole bunch of stuff, and sometimes if it's online, you just scroll up and sign it. But you might want to cross some things out. Absolutely. Thank you for that. And, you mentioned something that I've always wanted to say this. Those people with on your phone to check. They have these biosensors that's checking your heart, checking your this, checking your that. Your phone is actually checking your pulse rate and your heart, and you all think that's okay? No, we don't want that. That's like another step in the direction that's some of the abuse that we're receiving, and that's taking it to another level. They're monitoring us, and we don't want that. So, very good point. We have to be really careful. We can't sleep when we're doing these things. All right, thank you. Next caller, please.
Good evening, Gardner. It's Shirley from Massachusetts.
Hello?
Hello.
I'm sorry?
Good evening, Gaji. It's Shirley from Massachusetts.
Hi, Shirley from Massachusetts. How are you?
I'm good. I know last time we spoke, I mentioned I needed to send out a video to your attention regarding 6 and 7G. However, I did wrote down the email address wrong. I just got it tonight since, it was repeatedly said out tonight. I just wanted to point out that the 7G is smart dust. It's wireless sensors. And the 6G is terahertz, is the energy system. So those are the videos I would like to send out to you so you can, just listen to them. And I have some other stuff I wanted to send to you as well that you'll find extremely interesting regarding all this stuff that's going on. And also, Jay Anderson on YouTube has a video with Chelsea Beltran about the covert implants. And he was able to tie that back to the NSA, some of the implants that we have in our bodies. So I wanted to bring that up as well.
Yes, I found out some very interesting things. I don't know if I'm at liberty to say so. Very interesting things come out of the frequencies. I'll just say that. And you're right. Sometimes there are certain frequencies that only, for example, let's say this, only the NSA uses this frequency. So, of course, if it's being used to hit you, then you know that that's the NSA doing it. And so that
comes up.
Go ahead.
And also with me, I know last time I brought it up, I actually was extremely tired that night when I brought that question out. I fell asleep with the phone actually in my hand. When I woke up, I was just holding it over my ears. But I know I have some with my body, like if I push down on my arm, if I push down on my face, I have a sound actually coming out of me. And I don't know, if I go to the doctors, if they're able to hear it or listen to it, or maybe it's the stethoscope. And I also, with my head, I can actually, when I get some of these attacks, I can actually block things I don't want to hear. When people drive by, I can literally, pull, I don't know how to explain it, but I close my nose and I'm able to pull like I'm closing doors. I can do it 6 times at a time, and sometimes they're able to kind of block me, and then you can hear them on the other end trying to kind of open something back up, but only I have control of that. So I don't know how to even measure that, or maybe next week when you have your guest on next week for sessions, maybe I can bring those questions up. Maybe it has to do with technical stuff that's going on. But I find it amazing. I don't know if anybody else are able to do that, but I do have that sound. It sounded like, those old, 80s time when the TV goes out, back in the days in the 80s, and it has a shh, that type of sound. Yeah, and and I can manipulate that sound as well within me when I want to. And I can also speak within my head, back, and I can actually hear myself. There's a microphone there, inside of me, my head, my. If I say something, I have ways I can actually communicate where I can hear my inner self, and I can feel you can hear it like I have a microphone speaking through me. So,
wow.
I don't know if any other TI are able to get that far with anything, or I'm just curious because I'm like, am I the only one that's able to do this?
Okay, so Shirley, you last week, your name is Shirley, right?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. So when you asked that question, you must have fell asleep because someone did come and answer.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they
I
did have
Sorry.
so they did come and say that is they have the same experience in terms of the sounds. And someone mentioned to me, two people mentioned to me exactly like you can push and you can hear something. And somebody gave a solution. I believe it was. Now, if I'm going to depend on my memory, which is good sometimes. I believe it was Constance and Major P. And so perhaps someone will give you an answer in a minute. Okay. So, but thank you. Hang in there. You're probably not alone. Although the program is unique to each of us, but you're probably not alone. So one of them or both of them heard or knew what to do about the sounds when you touch your body.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you. Next caller, please, and then Major P and Constance. If I'm correct, then after this caller, I would like one of you to answer. Go ahead, sir, ma'am.
Hi, Gaji. This is Onenye from Houston.
Hi, Onenye. You have a lot of feedback, Onenye. Hey.
Is this a little better?
Sure is.
Okay. No, I just want to encourage Shirley. I have the same thing. And I think whenever you put in like those silicone headphones, it gets even louder. So I just want to encourage she's not alone. And it sounds like if she gets Dr. Mahelcha's book called Transhuman Volume 2, she talks about how some of these nanomaterials can self-assemble into little antennas. And so it almost sounds like there are, like antennas, like she said, like a TV antenna where there's like the black and white screen with like the scratchy sound. That's kind of what it what it sounds like. So I just want to encourage her and suggest that book.
Okay, thank you for that. The book, and you said the earbuds are worse, so don't use them?
No, you know what, and I didn't plan on sharing this, but not that they're worse. They just, I guess, because now you can actually block out all of the other sound, and when you block out all the external sound, you can clearly hear the internal sound, which is the static, right? But I will say, for anyone suffering from V2K, but specifically where they're hitting you in the ears, something that I've tried, I know a lot of people try the earplugs, right? But one thing that exponentially helped me was I got the foam earplugs that were like 33 decibel, but then behind those, right, and covering the opening of my ear, I also added the silicone earplugs as well. So you put in the foam ones, 32, 33 decibel ones in your ears, as far in as you can allow, and then right behind it you follow up with those clear, red, whatever color silicone ones, and it works marvels. Now it's almost impossible for anyone to get your attention at that point, but it works. Because they can't either, and so you're looking at the silicone ones. I think they go up to like maybe 22, 23 decibels. So you're looking at at least 55, give or take decibels of protection in each ear, and it's been amazing.
All right, good for you. Go ahead. All right, this is Solution Night, guys. Thank you, Onenye.
You're welcome.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Next caller, please. I hope that helps, Shirley, and I hope you were awake. Okay. Next caller.
Hi, can you hear me, GoGi?
Yes, ma'am.
This is Liliana again. I want
Hi.
to thank Margaret for, and I'll check with you to see if I got right her email address. I wanted to mention to the gentleman who called from California about using some kind of test to see if you're telling the truth, that there's something better than that. And what's better than that is the fact that the National Institutes of Health determined that a PET scan, if it comes out normal of your head, in your brain, then you don't have any kind of mental issue, not schizophrenia, psychosis, or anything. So you need a PET scan if you need to prove that you're not having mental problems. And the National Institute of Health.
PET or PEP?
No, the PET scan, PET, the well-known test, PET.
Right.
Like Peter, electric, and trend, PET.
PET.
And a PET scan of your head, and if it comes out normal, then you don't have mental issues. And the National Institute of Health has determined that.
Thank you. We need to put that. That's beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. All right. I hope that helped you, Jeremy. Next caller, please. Thank you, Liliana.
Has anyone tried like the lead caps and Faraday hats and stuff like that?
Has anybody tried Faraday hats?
Yeah, and then there's like lead caps and stuff that they use for radiology and stuff, and lead aprons and stuff like that. I mean, does that have any effectiveness? But mainly the caps, I guess.
Okay. So just leave that out there. Somebody will jump in the queue and answer you. Thank you. I hear. Well, first of all, they have. Okay, go ahead.
Also wanted to know, you mentioned the multimeter. I mean, that would be amazing to get the wavelengths, the frequencies. So, do you have instructions on that somewhere?
No instructions, but of how to use it. But certainly, she was saying Amazon has it, and you can try different places to purchase it from. I would rather with tech items, if you can go and pick it up hands-on, that would be even better. But I'm sure there's instructions in the box or online.
Okay. Yeah, because from what I read, I multimeter wouldn't work. That you would need something else. But yeah, it would be really nice to have more somebody talk about that and how to measure that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, I want to do a kind of hands-on thing. So thank you for that request. All right, thank you. Go ahead, next caller, please.
Hi, GoGi. It's Michelle. I wanted to put my number out there if anybody wants to connect with me for February 6th.
Thank you, Michelle. I was going to ask you.
You can call me. It's the number is 646. New number 479-1783. I'll repeat it, 646-479-1783. If anybody in the New York, New Jersey area wants to go up there. And I'm still going to the city council meetings. I went to a stated council meeting. The stated council meeting, you can network and meet the council members outside of the meeting, but not testify. But the committee meetings, you can testify and speak to the council members. So if anybody wants to connect with me about that, you could call me as well for that. And one other thing, I'm having a Women's Day event March 8th. I secured a place, and I'm trying to get some guest speakers. If anybody is interested in speaking, it is a paid event, and I mingle with people that also does not have the volume turned up as much as us, but everyone around me knows what is happening to me, including my managers and so forth. So whether they participate or not, whatever, I have no control over that. But my intention is to get more people on board to speak openly about what's going on. If you speak openly about what's going on, which people understand what's going on with us a lot more than we understand. A lot of people will chime in. There's engineers out there. There's people that know about EMFs. I told somebody in the gym, and she said she has an EMF reader in her home. People will share with you things they're doing because a lot of people are aware of what's going on. And so I say that to encourage people. We're out of the dark ages, and we're into another era. So you're going to have to let go a lot of things that happened 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, because we're in 2025. And Elon Musk, he wants to put a Neuralink in everybody. So, it's online. So everyone is aware of technology right now. So at the New York City Council, anyway, they have a committee on technology, and they're trying to get a law passed that these companies cannot access our biometrics because the FCC gives out a license to these companies to experiment on their employees. So, there are all kind of political angles to this, and if anybody is willing to, start on the ground and do the work to try to learn who the different council members are and how to make some really positive steps so that by the end of the year, more things are happening in our favor. You're welcome to call me, and we can talk about it. Thanks, Gaji, and thanks for the work you're doing, Gaji. I wish you were back here in New York.
I'm glad you're holding it down, Michelle. You're doing your thing. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. All right. Next caller, please. Thank you, Michelle. One around. All right, guys. Finally, oh my God! Thank God we made it before the turn of the stroke of midnight. Oh my God, we all would turn back into pumpkins, huh? All right, let's open up and say goodnight. Diana, I'm going to call on you next week. We're going to be talking about information that we can pull together for surveillance. Are you there, Diana? I know it's so late. You're probably gone. But we're going to talk about information that we can pull together to prove that we're being hacked, since they're dealing with 702. And I'm going to talk to you about some action we're thinking of taking. So everybody, let's open up and say goodnight. You know your homework. I'm going to get the templates ready. Please check out the website. Please be ready in case I'm able to have you join in on Thursday afternoon for an interview. And otherwise, we have some great things lined up for next week. Thank you for joining the J.A.M. All right, we're going to open up to say goodnight. Thank you, Tranquility, Lady T, everybody who joined the call tonight, J.A.M, Map News, Castor, and Sir Dan. I hate to start naming names. She with Major P, Connie Love. You know you guys. Thank you, everybody. All right, we're going to open up.
Thank you, Gaji, for a great call and thank you for all the
My pleasure. Thank you.
And everyone,
thank you guys for joining. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining the J.A.M. You all be safe. God bless.
Sorry.
We're almost there.
Good night.
I'm sorry?
Thank you.
Sorry, I missed it.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Good night,
Oh, you missed the call?
Good night.
Good night.
Call.
Good night.
No cat
Thank
getting.
you, guys. Thank you.